And away we go. I see Robert is in there. I see Love Cats is in there. Anybody else in there? Who's on tonight? Or this afternoon? It's not evening quite yet, at least not where we are. It is only 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the land of the peaches. That is Georgia. LPH is upstairs. She'll be down in a moment. Can anyone see or hear me, or am I talking to myself? Guess we'll find out. I guess I'm talking to myself as LPH is coming down here. And there's Custom God says, I hear you. Good, that's good to know. Robert online. Robert, you're low on power?
No, he won't be with us long because his phone battery is going to die.
You gotta go back to old school and getting a desktop computer.
Yeah.
Shannon.
Hey, Shannon.
Thank you for joining us this evening. Or this I keep saying this evening. It's afternoon here. It's evening somewhere. It's evening somewhere, but it's not evening here. Not yet. Not till 6 p.m. Ridley Cinema.
Ridley.
Oh, you got the notification. I tried to put it out earlier. I put the notice out, or I set this up earlier because I've been hearing complaints about that. People getting notifications even after the live stream is finished. And it's like, it's kind of pointless then. I mean, you can still go and watch it because it'll be saved on there. But if you wanted to participate, it's too late. Will is in Canada. Love the discussions. Thank you. Hi, LPH. Willie the Waiver.
I know. Be nice.
Be nice.
If you know where that's from.
Who knows what we're talking about? If Johnny Future was in here, he'd get that. Black Knight made it.
Hey, Black Knight.
Thanks for joining us.
I've been a very depressing weekend, so I'm glad to see some friendly faces.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully nothing but positivity here.
Yeah.
With the exception of the occasional porn bot that tries to post on.
Well, last time we didn't get any, so that was good.
That was a lot better.
Very good.
It was a lot better. That's frustrating.
Yeah,
Low
it
on
is
the phone
annoying.
charge. Poor Robert. John McJunkin. Hello, everyone. Mr.
Hey,
and
John.
Mrs. LPH. We are doing fine. Had a little bit of luck at Goodwill. Minimal, not like we've been, like the big vinyl was nice, and the bin full of G.I. Joe pieces was nice.
Yeah.
And by the way, I found the treads that go underneath that snow vehicle, so it is complete now. But found that Bashosaurus. It's right behind her. It's right behind. You see Bashosaurus sitting there?
Oh yeah.
There it
we
is.
Found that at Goodwill.
Found that at Goodwill for 89 cents the other day. Can't argue with that.
But it's missing it's not complete, right? Isn't it?
No, it's missing that piece that goes on the front.
Oh.
It's still 89 cents. It still has the plunger still works and everything. There's Action Figure Expert.
Hello. What's up? Going on? How are you?
Hope all is well.
Yep.
Yeah, so far so good. So far so good this week. There was a show. Yesterday? We didn't go though.
What show?
Comic show. Remember we talked about it. There was I can't remember.
Oh, in Macon.
Yeah, Macon, Georgia. Comic show. They do a couple times a year.
They do. Yeah, I think it's twice a year. We went before, and we didn't really care for it all that much. It's not that far.
I still did all right though at that one. I found a couple of that's where I found that Strange Tales annual #1, and
really?
that Forever People #1. I got a really good deal on it,
Yeah.
but it's real small. It's a really small show, so we weren't sure if we wanted to drive out for it.
Yeah, and then I had a sewing group meeting yesterday. So we go out all the time to shows. I wanted to go to my sewing group. Let me see.
Yeah, if you could do it yourself, sure. It'll save you a lot too. John says, amazing luck finding it there for 9 cents. That's rare anymore.
No.
And then we were there this morning, and it's even more disheartening because we were there before they opened, and there's a line of people waiting to get in, and they were pickers working as a group. They rushed in and they broke off into sections. One person went to jewelry, 2 people went in the toy aisle, 2 people went in glassware, one guy went and started picking through albums, one guy started picking through the books. And it's like, geez, between the outrageous prices at these thrift stores and organized picking groups, It's like, God, it just sucks the life out of the whole concept.
Yeah, the guy in the toy aisle, he found like bags, like I think it was about 3 bags of My Little Ponies. I don't know if they were new or not.
Uh-huh.
And then he picked up some other things that we did see, but they were nothing. Maybe to him, there's something, but they weren't like vintage.
Something he could put on eBay.
Yeah,
that's all that is.
Let's see. Will says, really want the because I can't see.
Really want the Andre the Giant Legends figure, which was a Maddie exclusive, 300 plus on eBay. Oh,
ooh.
Wow. And Mick C is in here. It says Mick C horror and pop culture, but he took his, I guess he changed his mind.
Got my PS2 game out of storage. Half won't play.
I wonder if they have disc rock, been in storage for years. And that's a problem with DVDs too. People make fun of VHS cassettes, and they're like, "Oh, well, you can't," because this is something that came up when we were talking about grading VHS cassettes. Oh, well, VHS cassettes weren't made to last; they break down. I can still get those things to work, and they're like 30 plus years old. But DVDs, if you have them in storage and they're subjected to temperature changes, they don't work. They break down worse than the VHS. So yeah, but if they were subjected to temperature changes, I mean, you could try running them through a disc cleaner, but there might be permanent defects now. You got to watch out.
Let me see. Ridley said he got a couple new Ghostbuster Plasma Series figure recently. A slimed Peter Venkman and a Ray from Afterlife. Did you get the first set of the Plasma series, the first wave of the original group? And Jose says Phoenix Joker is at the 1/6 scale.
That is what the third scale from Prime 1, right?
Yeah, that's the third. This one, you see his back.
1/3 scale from Prime 1 Studios. We did an unboxing and review of that one.
Yeah.
So that's a big sucker.
Yeah, Mick says something. Here in my area of Kansas, there is a lame comic expo called
Collectorama. Collectorama. I've never heard of that one.
No, but
some of them need a lot of love.
Well, it takes time to build the reputation. You got to get people out, and sometimes it takes a minute if it's a new show.
Yeah.
But once they've been going on for a couple of years, they usually
it starts to build up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the one in Macon now, that guy says he's been doing that for years in the same spot, and it's tiny. It's real small. I didn't care for it because I'm not big on comic books.
Yeah.
So when we go to the comic book shows, I usually sit outside. I walk around, but I'm not in the comic books.
That much. She's looking for omnibus and stuff like that, and they don't have too much of that at the shows.
No. But they're fine. I like to look at the books, but I'm not gonna buy anything. So
There's Stone Sour.
Nice Stone Sour
joined us. Where are we?
Ridley said he did get the first wave.
Oh, okay.
Okay. They did slime. Yeah. I didn't get the second wave because I was like,
And that's why when we went to the toy show that was at the Coca-Cola Space Museum, that was disappointing.
That was very disappointing.
Because it was a long drive and there was 5 vendors. I said, what happened?
Yeah, I'll say about 8.
You think?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, people sitting at tables autographing books don't count. Just saying.
Because they did have a lot of artists there, because they had a room full of artists and people making custom stuff. But as far as vendors go, they may have really 5 to 8.
And that's where we ran into the headache with the guy with the Batcopter.
Oh yeah, and we saw him again. Yeah. He still had that Batcopter too.
Yeah, he still had it. I saw him at another show. It's like, that's that guy. Because if you remember when we did that one, she asked to see it. It's not an expensive piece either. And she was like, can I see that? And he goes, it's expensive. Yeah. And it's like, okay, yeah, can I see that? I said it's expensive. And it went on like that. And then she was like, you know what, screw this. And we got out of there. But I mean, do you not want to sell it or what the hell? And it's not expensive. I think the retail on that is like $70, $80. So what are you going on and on about there?
John said he think he read somewhere that you can use toothpaste to fix scratches on DVDs. Not sure how well it actually works.
Yeah, well, it has to be able to get buffed though, and they have an abrasion. It's because of the granules in the toothpaste, and there is an abrasion solution that they have specifically for DVDs. But you have to have the machine, because if you're gonna do it by hand, it's gonna be completely uneven and it may not work out.
Mick says that Comic Show did have the Planet of the Apes model kit for a good price.
Oh, okay.
Jasmine says hi.
Oh, okay.
She watches
Hello, Jasmine.
you guys all the time. Hey, Jasmine.
Hey, Jasmine.
My Batman season 4 DVDs don't play.
Yeah, I found that with DVDs, if they're exposed back and forth, some of them get wonky. But then I can get eight tracks and cassette tapes and VHS and betas still freaking work unless they got magnetized. What's up with that? There's Patrick Peluso.
Mick says that he collects DVDs, Laserdisc, Blu-ray, and all that, and never ever put toothpaste on a DVD. Please don't do that.
Yeah, they got a solution for it. You got to have the right equipment. You can't just put toothpaste and get like a cloth. And
I knew a guy. He used to use Bronzo.
Oh yeah.
Or Brasso. Sorry, Brasso. Yeah, on DVDs it worked. But
well, Ridley says, have you seen the Turtles versus Street Fighter? Yeah, we
actually saw it today.
We showed them on no, that was Cobra Kai.
Oh yeah, the Turtles and Cobra Kai. We saw that at Target.
But we showed those on the weekly roundup.
Yeah.
On the last weekly roundup. Yeah, those are the Easterman and Layard traditional like Mirage Studios looking turtles, and they all look like that. That was a very aggressive comic book. It wasn't anything like the cartoon show.
Versus a Street Fighter. Oh, yeah, Street Fighter. He says Fractured Fist.
Fractured Fett.
Oh, Fett. Okay. Hi, guys. New to the channel and have been binging your videos. Love the content.
Oh, we appreciate that. We're glad to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you. What's magnetized, David?
Because like with old computers, if you ran a magnet, if you had like a really a powerful magnet, and you ran it over VHS tapes and stuff like that, you could screw them up.
Yeah, and cassette tapes too. That's how they used to erase it at church.
8 tracks and old floppy disks, like the 3 3/4 and the 5.5-inch floppy disks, can get screwed up with magnets really bad too, because they use the same type of magnetized film format. So a magnet can degrade the data.
Ridley says Blu-ray has a protective lining to prevent disc scratches.
Okay.
And disc rot. Okay.
All right.
Laser discs and DVDs can produce disc rot. Keep
dry and away from the sun, of course.
Out of sight is here.
He wants to know we're live. Yes, we are. No, sorry, no Crumb, no Crumb. Crumb is actually at a relative's house.
Yeah, he was.
He started getting really what's the right word for it?
Annoying.
Yeah, well, he had what you can tell when an animal is having a psychological problem. A lot of pacing and calling out, and just the things that he was doing,
marking
something wasn't right.
Yeah,
and we couldn't settle it, and we couldn't let him go in and out of the house because he fights with everybody. And he goes outside, he'll come back covered in blood. So we sent him over to a relative, and he's staying there and can go in and out without a problem. He's calmed down.
And there's really no other animals around. And the marking is what did him in.
Yeah, he
was
trying to when they try to pee, not urinate, but they do a little spray here and a little spray there to mark a scent, and it's like
you gotta go.
There's ways to stop a cat from doing that, but they weren't working.
They worked at first when he first moved in.
Yeah,
and he stopped, and then he picked back up, and it got annoying. And it's like, okay, you can pace all you want to, but you start peeing and we got a problem.
And pacing is a sign of depression with animals. If they just walking back and forth like that, like you see them do at the zoo, it's because they're depressed.
Yeah.
So we had to find a way to fix it. And the best solution was to pass them on to someone we knew was going to keep an eye on them.
Yeah, they live in a bigger area. He could go outside, run around, and not have other animals that
unfortunately
he feel threatened by.
Miss Kitty is still here, and the
yeah,
others.
They did not get along.
No, Miss Kitty don't like anybody, but
he was fine until she came.
Yeah.
And when she came, he was like, "Oh no," and then it got weird.
And we have other cats that come in and they hang around in the house for a little while and go back outside, and there's no problems. But Miss Kitty is somewhere. Peter wants to know if I have Ultraman. Not much. I mean, I know I got one sitting out here. If you recognize that guy,
he's a fellow Atlanta collector.
Oh, okay.
Ridley said VHS also naturally degrade after time, so up to 100 degrees, tapes will just stop working. Did you ever have a problem with DVD disc or disc?
That's Ultraman.
Oh, that's Ultraman?
That's an Ultraman figure. It's Icarus, and this is the Japanese one. I think this one is from '93. 3 points of articulation, because you know how they do with that stuff. Barely 3, because you don't want to turn. But that's all I got hanging around right here with my Shoguns there.
Action figure experts wants to know: have you ever bought any video disc course? I think that word is course. I can't really see it that well. Right here.
Video disc course. I don't think so.
If you know what I mean. Know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean.
No, I mean.
I don't know nothing. What was the last figures I picked up? The last action figures that I got was actually, and I think I showed them. I showed them just recently, didn't I? And that was the Skeleton Warriors that I got from Justice Curry. The Playmate Skeleton Warriors.
Since then?
No.
Oh. I almost picked up one today, the NECA thing. We went to Target. We haven't been to Target in months. But we went, and they had the new thing with the light on the front, you know, the box, and then the old one with the flamethrower. Yeah. I almost got that, but I don't know. I just didn't.
Yeah, it's okay.
I want those figures too, but I guess I didn't want it as bad as I thought I did, because I sure walked away with no problem. So
it's okay, John. No one's accusing you of coming up with the toothpaste idea. He says he saw that on Google. He's like, it wasn't me. But yeah, no worries.
I mean, people try all kinds of stuff. Like I said, I knew a guy that used Brasso, and I thought it was.
Reston's Last Stand has joined us.
Okay. Guys.
Thanks for joining us. And John wants to know, what nostalgia topic are we covering today? What nostalgia topic would you like to talk about? Because we have so many.
David got a list somewhere.
I don't have a list.
He writes that stuff down. He has a list.
I don't know anything about that.
Video discs, all like these giant floppy discs that came out. Oh, in the ages.
In the old days, back when you used to have to put 2 5.5-inch discs into a computer just to start it. It wouldn't start unless you had both discs in there. I remember those computers. Wrigley says the dying nostalgia of human decency. No kidding.
Oh God.
Mike C says, how about Mego figures from the 1970s? Those are some of the best ones, and they still hold up. And the new Mego figures, a lot of people are really into them because of the nostalgia of it, the fact that it is Mego and it is Marty Abrams who's got his hands in it. But there's a lot of complaints about it. I don't think all the complaints are fairly justified, because it's always kind of been a cheap figure anyway.
Mm-hmm.
What you're paying for it, you're not paying a fortune for new Mego figures either. They don't cost a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The Legends and Black Series and all the rest of it's getting real expensive. McFarlane figures have gone up in price. But one of the major issues is the new bodies. The new bodies don't hold up even to the originals. Mego figures from the 70s hold up better than the new ones. And then they changed the body again, and now these are really breaking up. They're shorter bodies. They're like a 1/2 inch shorter than the Megos that were already being put out, so now they're not even compatible. And the elbows are breaking, waist is breaking. The waist is like one little thin peg holding it together. The knees are breaking, and everybody's screaming about it. And I don't blame them. It's like, you may as well have stuck with the body that you had. The new bandless body is falling apart on people. But yeah, I love the original Mego stuff, and I don't have much. as far as original Mego. She's got the Dukes of Hazzard, the 8-inch one.
Yeah.
They're not really 8-inch, but they're like 1/9 scale. I think is a more fair. People just call them 8 inches, kind of like with the deluxe Star Wars figures. They call them 12 inches, but like the only one that's actually 12 inches is probably C-3PO, and the rest of them are, none of them measure up, but they're technically 1/6 scale, if you catch my meaning. So the Mego figures were never really 8. I don't have too many. I used to have a big collection of them, and that's part of the collection that was stolen, because I had all of the Star Trek stuff carded and loose and boxed. I had all the Planet of the Apes, so on and so forth. I only had a few superheroes. I didn't have much in the superheroes. I was working on it. Stuff I probably couldn't replace anymore, because when I got it, it was cheaper. And so people ask me about that. It's like, you had this massive collection that was worth a fortune that was stolen. My ex stole it. If you haven't, I did a video on it like a year ago, but like a massive carded Star Wars collection, things like that. But when I was buying those carded Star Wars figures in the early 90s, I was still getting them like 2 and 3 for $1 at KB, mint on the card. And when I bought my original carded, unpunched 12-back 1978 Star Wars figures, the first run, I didn't pay $80-$100 a piece for them. They were barely worth that.
What's the first action figure you bought with your own money? And that's for you guys too. What's the first action figure you bought with your own cash?
Out of Sight wants to know if Biff Bang Power discontinued. I don't know if they're making figures anymore.
I don't think so. I haven't seen anything from Biff Bang Power in a while.
That was these, and I showed these in the Star Wars Journey video, and this is just a handful of them.
You bought those with your own cash?
Not these specific ones, but the ones like these. These are not the originals ones that I had. But the first time I was able to go out and buy action figures on my own with my own actual money, which was these 4, 2 Snow Troopers and Darth Vader, and that's that story about the Star Wars Christmas. Remember, in 1980? Yeah. And I told that story when I talked about these particular figures that I got from a convention, because they're significant, because not only did I purchase them myself, but they were taken from me immediately. So I got money, and it was from babysitting. My mother used to take these babysitting contracts and then not watch the kid. And she would, I'm like 8, 9, 10 years old, changing diapers and babysitting little kids, and she's nowhere to be found. And then one of the parents figured it out and gave me some money and says, "Yeah, go get yourself something nice, because I know what's going on here." And I ran down to the local Woolworths, and I got these 4, and like I said, the 2 Hoth Stormtroopers, which I don't have right now, and a Darth Vader, which I also don't have, and came home with them. And she took them from me and kicked my butt and said that was my money, whatever. And a few months later, it's Christmas, and I get a Christmas present, and guess what's in it? My Star Wars figures. And she was like, "Oh yeah, I got these for you because I know you like Star Wars." I bought those, but what are you going to say? You want them to be taken away again? Thanks, Mom. But these are these and those other 3 figures are the first ones I got.
Okay. With
my own actual money as a child.
Let's catch back up.
Okay.
What's your opinion on the Super 7, Mumra the Ever Living, and Mumra Mummy? Do you think it's worth buying? I have those. I like it. And they also made one, it's a couple of years back, it was a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. It was a glow-in-the-dark Mumra Mummy. And it's all about your taste in that company. I personally like Super 7.
Yeah.
I like the way their figures look. It's more articulate. I like the way the packaging looks, the color. You get a lot of accessories. You get more than one head. The majority of the time, you always get more than one head. You get a bunch of hands, and other accessories to go with the figure. So I mean, it's all about, do you like it? I mean, I
Yeah.
liked the Maddie Club when they came out with the Thundercats and also the Bandai. I didn't like the LJN
The
because,
original
yeah.
LJNs, yeah.
So I never got those because I didn't like the body style, the coloring on it, and all of that. So it really depends on your preference. And that's with any action figure because you
Sure.
got like so many companies making the same thing. And it really boils down to your budget and your preference, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some complaints about like difficulty with the jointing, like their hips aren't jointed very well,
Hmm.
things like that. But the physical detail is pretty good. The scale's good.
Yeah.
The packaging is probably some of the best that you're going to find in the toy industry right now for in that
Yeah.
price range. I mean, there's a lot of things to think about.
Okay, we talked about Biff Bang Pow.
Patrick says that action figures going for 40 at FYE. Yeah, they're all going up. They're going up everywhere.
I wish there were more videos on Mego and the Figure Toy Company. Figure Toy Company looks so good.
The figures are crap. Well, they don't expect you to open them.
Yeah.
The Figures Toy Company is kind of what people wish Mego was, because it's much better details, but they're a lot more expensive than you're going to pay for the new Mego figures.
For the past few years, I've been doing a lot of Bostic
Bosk focus collecting from Star Wars.
Okay. Have either of you
focus collecting? Not really. I mean,
No.
he's buying all
Yeah.
Bosk. Yeah.
Yeah, this is certain. No.
Not one specific figure that we keep getting over and over.
Mm-mm.
Not really.
I know
but
people that do that. I know we personally don't.
I still think the one guy from Masters of the Universe, he must have had 150 of them.
I seen the one guy video. All he has is Iron Man. That's it.
Yeah.
And he has like every Iron Man from Hot Toys and other companies known to man. And he has a very nice display. I'll say that. And then I've seen other people, they only do Batman, only do Spider-Man, Supermans. But those people usually get like Hot Toys or statues or something like that. It's usually not an action figure.
Yeah.
You know.
Or Army building a specific one.
Yeah.
That, wouldn't be Army built. Like another one, Masters of the Universe, there was a guy who had a lot of Moss Mans. He must have had like 100 Moss Mans.
It was one guy video I saw. He only collects one Ranger. I think it was the Green Ranger. Mm-hmm. It was one. That's it. He didn't want no other Ranger. And I watched his video, and he had all of that Ranger and everything that went with that Ranger. No other. And he said it. I don't like no other Ranger but this one. Original Mego is the best. Which figures do their bodies because they are great? They have great stuff. Which figures would do better bodies? Okay.
Yeah. I'd like to get the Dukes of Hazzard on Blu-ray, but with everyone's butthurt about the black, I don't think it'll happen. Yeah, we got it on. We have it on DVD.
Yeah,
and enjoying it. It's actually a pretty fun show.
It's a funny show.
It's funny.
It's unrealistic, of course, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. We enjoy it. Of course, she has that a collection of Dukes of Hazzard stuff herself.
Yeah. I need one more item.
There's always one more.
And then one more item, and then my Dukes of Hazzard will be finished. It will be.
Okay.
Figures Toy Company does Hanna-Barbera Johnny Quest. Oh, Johnny Quest.
Yeah, they do that kind of stuff. Harvey Birdman, Space Ghost, and things. Yeah, they do a lot of that kind of stuff.
Mick says his first action figure was the Big Jim, Dr. Steel.
Dr. Steel, that's a nice one. That's a tough one to find now.
Robert says his was the Jedi, like the Jedi, Kenner Jedi. Like my own cash, I believe. I think the Garbage Pail Kid.
Whoa, yeah. Let me see where we are here.
You went.
This Lynx 595 has joined us.
Hey, Lynx. Long time no see.
Garbage Pail Kids Funko Pops got me. I hate Pops, but the Garbage Pail Kids, T. Stewart. Yeah, I can understand. And that's what they do is they hit so many licenses. Sooner or later, they might come up with something that somebody's gonna want.
Yeah, because they did that to me. I was collecting it real hard, and then I stopped. And then during the virus, they started coming up with those nostalgia ones, those retro ones, and then I got back in, and now I'm back out.
Ridley wants to know if we've seen the Jazzwares Hanna-Barbera figures. Is that the one, like the Scooby-Doo figures and stuff like they have at the Walmart? Is that the ones you're talking about?
I love Figures Toy Company.
Masters of Magnetism has joined us. Can't wait for the Silverhawk Super 7 to come out. Or the Ramen Toys, because Super 7 sublet the license for Silverhawks to Ramen Toys, and the Ramen Toys ones look even better than Super 7s.
Here's a topic: actual nostalgia versus hipster nostalgia. Oh, I can find instant collection with disposable income.
Yeah, must be nice.
Yeah.
Brandon says, what I miss was cooking homemade burritos. Brandon, didn't you ask me about some action figures? Something that you wanted to
G.I.
see?
Joe, something another.
Let me know and I'll pull them down. And if we miss your comment, we're not ignoring you. It's just, there's a lot going on. How are we doing? We're doing fine, Brandon. Let me see. Ridley says they collect a lot of Star Wars Black Series, and it shocks me that 3 3/4 are still getting made. Well, that's what they call the retro line, because they put the Kenner on it, so you know it's retro, and they're trying to tap in on the vintage retro collectors of the classic Star Wars figures. I'd rather have the original ones than any of those. Robert wants to know, saw the old TNG episodes and thought, Jean-Luc, what happened to you? The Next Generation. Yeah. What happened to him is they gave him a script and a contract. I don't think he ever really cared about Star Trek anyways, to be honest. I've seen him in interviews, and some of the things that he's said, if you really think about it and piece it together, like when he was talking about seeing, what's the name of that British show? Red Dwarf. He's in England and he saw Red Dwarf, and he thought it was too close to Star Trek, and got on the phones with his tried to get on the phone with Paramount's attorney until he realized that it was a comedy. And it's like, why do you care, Patrick? Leave them alone. And it's a good show. Red Dwarf is a good show. Or when they were doing the big Paramount auctions and getting rid of the old props, and he's laughing about the guy who paid like $3,000 for the flute from you remember Picard played the flute, and he was like, well, because it was stupid, because the flute isn't real and stuff like that. And I think there's a certain amount of arrogance to Patrick Stewart, and I wonder how much he actually appreciated it and how much it was just a job. Oh, there's Kaiser Kaiju, and of course, I don't know him, so that's all speculation.
Hank
Hackerbush or Hackbush. I've been lucky to find vintage 3 3/4 Joes at trade day at flea markets for cheap and in great shape. I feel lucky. Would like to hear your thoughts. No, that is good.
Yeah.
And like I did the video a couple of weeks back, because we had that luck with vintage Joes at Goodwill, and it was a tote full of them, and they put $409 on the tote.
Yeah.
And it was. And the vehicles are rough and they're in pieces. I get a couple, you can't see them. Or like this one. It was all pieces. I managed to completely piece this together, figure and all. You see, he's in there. And it was $409 for the tote. All kinds of vehicles and stuff in there. The Triple T is in there, -1 rocket. The Maggot, complete Maggot. All the pieces are there. The radar dish is broken though, but the peg is still there, so I might can fix it. So yeah, every once in a while you have some luck.
Thor says, thanks for answering the Super 7 question. Just trying to make some smart choices in collecting. Prices just keep going up.
You got to be selective.
You have to. And you got to collect something you like. And I think that goes back to what Mick was talking about actual nostalgia and then hipster.
Hipster, yeah.
Because you have, like me and David, we grew up in the 80s. David grew up in the 70s.
Half and half, 70s and 80s. I was not that old. She'll have me dance in the Charleston here in a minute.
But no, we actually grew up with that stuff. So now, we see it and it brings back memories. And then you have younger people, not saying that they don't actually like it, but you wonder sometimes when you watch some of these videos and they're talking about it,
do they really like it, or is it just trendy? Yeah.
And you got a lot of trendy things going on.
Yeah.
And I'm not against buying out a person's collection and having an instant collection. If you can do that.
Yeah.
If you can do that, and if it's something that you actually like. Now, are you just buying out a collection just to hold on to it and then sell it later at some ridiculous price?
And that's investment collecting, and that's
I wouldn't even call that in collecting. I didn't say that's investment.
Yeah, we don't ascribe to that.
I mean, but then I also know, and I know it sounds contradictory, I know some people, that's their livelihood, that's what they do. They buy stuff to resell.
Yeah.
And, if that's what you do, that's what you do. You can't hate on a person if that's their job.
Unless they get the piece you wanted before you had a chance to get your hands on it.
Or they're like the dude we met in Goodwill. We were at the toy aisle.
Oh, God.
And he just started talking, rambling on. And he told David he had the USS flag and broke it to pieces.
He found a flag, and he's bragging about how he completely disassembled the whole damn thing so he could sell it piece by piece because it's worth more that way on eBay. And I'm like, yeah, this conversation's finished. Bastard. I hate that. I hate that.
Oh, David walked away from that guy. He was so rude. I saw someone do a custom Castle Grayskull. Looked really beautiful. I saw a guy on YouTube. He did a Castle Grayskull.
He did like a quarter scale one for his kid.
No, it was more than quarter scale.
Was it?
Because it was a whole thing. And at first, I thought it was going to be an outside playset because he was building it outside. It's the boy's bed. It's in his room. And it's the height of the room, and it has the drawbridge, and the boy crawls through. And once you get on the inside of it, his bed is in there, and all of the kids' toys, and stuff. And it was really nice. I was like, wow. Yeah, and he has a video showing the step by step of him doing it. And I saw another guy. He is doing a custom USS flag. He's making it from scratch.
John McJunkin says he thinks the first thing he started collecting with his own money was McDonald Land character glasses. Yeah, came with your drink for an extra 75 cents. The glasses, that's a big thing. 60s, 70s, and even the 80s. Yeah, those glasses were a big part of culture.
But they made good commercials for them, and we were talking about that the other day because we were driving, and a commercial came on, an ice cream commercial that had a whole jingle. They sang the song. The guy came on, told you everything about the ice cream. It went off singing the song. And I was like, you know what? I actually know what that commercial is about.
Yeah.
How many times you watch TV now, a commercial come on, you don't even know what they're selling. It's like, what are you selling me? Or you look at it, and after seeing it, you're like, I would never buy that just because of this commercial.
Yeah.
This commercial offends me in every way. And it's like, that's one thing I hate about modern commercials. You don't know what they're selling you, or they're selling you something you don't need to know about because you already know that. I know my baby need Pampers. I know I need feminine hygiene products. I don't need you coming on TV every commercial break to tell me to buy some. I know that already.
Yeah, that's hilarious too. The female hygiene commercials crack me up because apparently no woman on earth realizes that they come in different sizes. You didn't know that, did you? They come in you mean they have different sizes? And you can walk into any big box store, supermarket, drugstore, and look at the aisle and see that they come in different sizes. We don't need commercials. Every commercial I've ever seen, they're telling you, hey, this is the wrong size. I wish they came smaller, bigger, whatever. They do come in biggest sizes. What? Oh my God. Bunch of more. I mean, they think we're so stupid. It's incredible. Brandon says, yeah, G.I. Joe bracelets.
Oh yeah, you got those things.
And that was
there.
on the list. You had a thing like a poster you put up. Didn't you put up a post and you're like, I didn't know they made these. I didn't know they made this stuff.
Hey Johnny, future.
But yeah, I remember the Country Time lemonade jingle or Pepperidge Farm. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Do you have any Cracker Jack toys? I do. I have the Cracker Jack 18-wheeler truck, and also the Cracker Jack lunchbox.
Not any original prizes though. I think Brandon, didn't you also have this on that list of stuff you didn't know existed? Or tell me if I'm wrong. But I'll show this anyway. I found this at the Toy Swap toy show that we went to a couple weeks back, and was shocked to see it there because this is a pretty rare set, and I got a great price on it. And it's interesting. These are the 3 3/4-inch A-Team bad guys figures, and it says they dare to challenge the A-Team. But what else do you expect from Cobra? And I think it's interesting.
It says Cobra on there?
Yeah. Look at the names of the bad guys: Cobra, Viper, Python, and Rattler.
Oh yeah.
But what's really interesting about this in particular is you notice that these are 5 points of articulation figures, but the Galoob 3 3/4-inch A-Team figures are 10-point articulation like the G.I. Joes. So no wonder they can't beat the A-Team. They only have 5 points of articulation. But this was a fantastic set. Yeah, the A-Team 4-packs. A lot of that Galoob stuff is getting real tough to find. But I just thought I would share that. But yeah, I'll get the KMTs down for you if you want to see them.
Let's see. Let me go back a little bit. Even like Chris Pine Kirk, even though he's a watered down version of Kirk. Heard the G.I. Joe animated movie is hitting the theaters again. Really?
Oh yeah, that's getting to be a thing now where they have on the anniversaries of certain films, they put it in the theaters for a limited time. I've been hearing that.
Really say the salt and pepper doesn't give away your.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I'm late. Don't worry about it.
Who's late?
Johnny Future.
Johnny Future? No, you're getting demerits, and I'm gonna have to see you after class. Anyways, these are KMTs, and KMT in 1982 had a contract through Hasbro to make G.I. Joe official jewelry, and all of the card backs are of grunt, and there were 8 pieces that were made in this set. And you think it's hard finding the 3 3/4-inch figures, the carded G.I. Joes? These are a nightmare to track down. There's 8 in the set. I've been trying to put a set together for like 10 years. I've gotten as far as 4. And this is I know I'm halfway there. That's the Commando metal and bar pin right there. And they are metal, and they're shrink wrapped to that card. It's like hard shrink wrapped to the card. So these cards are often damaged. This is the Machine Gunner Medal and Sergeant Stripes pin. Usually occasionally these turn up loose. And like I said, the cards are often very heavily damaged when you do find them. So finding these like this has been very, very difficult.
They remind you of when you got the jewelry out of the bubblegum machine.
Yeah, that's really what it looks like. That's your G.I. Joe ID bracelet. This is the most common one. If you looked up G.I. Joe KMT, this one might pop up. The others, like I said, I've been looking for years trying to complete this set. I just missed getting the dog tag set a couple of months back that you see pictured there. It's a dog tag set on here. And then the last one is the official G.I. Joe whistle. The official G.I. Joe whistle.
Did he even use a whistle on that show?
I don't recall, but, couldn't hurt.
I guess.
But that's the KMTs. I got 4. Halfway there. Someday I might actually finish it.
What I like most about your channel is the off-the-cuff history you provide in your episode. I am obsessed with learning the history of a particular toy line and how it came into existence.
Well, I appreciate that. I know a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Are you guys going to check out the second largest comic toy shop in the U.S. When it opens next month? Oh, wow. In Florence, South Carolina, Galactic Comics.
Is it?
In Florence, South Carolina. Huh. That might be a nice little day trip.
Yeah. Because we do that too sometimes. Like we toured Date's comic shop and we toured Second Chance Toys, which is a nice toy shop, and a few other places.
And it'd probably give me an excuse to go see my mom.
Oh, no. No, it's fine. Her mother's actually pretty nice.
In the horror community, it seems continued. What's that word? Contrived,
yeah.
With the younger fans collecting 80s horror.
Okay.
I have a very large collecting of Hot Wheels that are old and some very rare, but the value of Hot Wheels just keeps tanking in value. Why is that?
Probably because they still produce them. They produce the exact same ones. They recreate them over and over and over again.
Mm.
How many times have they made the same mold of the exact same car, carded the same way, and they just make a small change? You know, also, who's collecting the Hot Wheels cars?
Older
the Matchbox cars. It's still adults picking that stuff over. The younger people are not as interested in that kind of thing. So that takes away from it as well.
Been careful buying some figures, not much as I used to. Bought a Pokemon figure.
Rayquaza.
Yeah. Doesn't Justice Curry buy and resell?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, but he tells you that's what he's doing.
He's outright with it, and
his prices are fair.
Unlike a lot of the people you might sell to, if you had to sell the Justice Curry, or if you had to sell, he will give you 50% of fair market value.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you went to a comic shop, toy show, whatever, they'll run a pawn shop routine on you. You'll be lucky to get 10%. So he's pretty fair. That's why he's so popular.
Yeah, and people will call him, and he'll drive all over the country.
That's a part of it
too. Buy out your collection.
I've heard of him going as far as Canada to
like
pick up
10 hours one way to pick through somebody's collection, and he's come down to Kentucky from Michigan and all kinds of stuff. So if you call him up and well, not call him, but contact him. He'll work something out, I guess. Breaking down a toy into pieces. What a jerk. Some of these companies do the same thing, aka build a figure. So they could just
as guilty. Yeah, that's artificial demand, though, when a company does it. Because then you have to buy all of them to get the build a figure. Breaking it down is kind of the reverse of that. But there's a lot of, if you ever go to the conventions and you see some of these guys, they got bins full of like Star Wars and G.I. Joe vehicles and stuff, and it's just the hull of the vehicle. It's just, there's nothing left. All of the rockets and guns and canopies and everything are gone. It's just the body is left. That's how it got that way. They tore them apart. And I like I said, I frown on the practice.
I kind of understand it in some ways, because like if you have a figure and you're missing a part, you don't want to buy the whole figure again. You know what I mean? You just want that part.
Yeah.
So I kind of understand it.
Yeah, but to deliberately tear it down, I just have an issue with that. I'd rather see it as complete as possible. And what we used to do back in the day was, if you had two incomplete ones, you can combine them together and then you sell what's left over, but you would sell it as a whole piece, not in chunks.
Brandon wants to know who won the comic book. Chris, I don't know his last name, but Chris won the comic book. Right. David mailed it out already. Yeah, he should have it.
He should have it, actually. You in here, Chris?
I think he's from South Carolina. Is it Chris with the eyes? I don't know. Don't see fun commercials anymore.
Just car insurance.
Just car insurance.
Health not programs.
No, yeah, and medication. Telling you all of these ridiculous side effects.
Social ads trying to get you to think a certain way.
Yeah. I never understand car commercials. Has anyone ran to a dealership to buy a car after seeing a commercial? No.
Well, that's the big argument. It's like, for example, the current Cadillac one.
Yeah.
And they don't even speak during the commercial, and it's like models walking around at night with the car, and then it says a thing that says "Be iconic." When I was a kid, you watch a car commercial, they told you miles per gallon, they told you how many it could seat, how much the trunk capacity was, how long between oil changes. They they would run the whole gambit down for you to let you know what you're getting, and
they told you how soon you can get from 0 to 60.
Yeah.
Not anymore. And that Cadillac commercial is for an electric car, so you want to know how far can I drive before I need to charge up again?
Yeah, something.
You know,
tell me something.
Yeah, they don't tell you nothing in commercials. They just got a bunch of models rolling around doing something and something. But
Ridley says you can't give demerits out anymore. Does detention even exist? Because God forbid children are disciplined. Yeah, no kidding.
I thought the film adaptation of 18 was boring.
I didn't see the film version. I didn't see that. I figured I would be disappointed if I did, because television to movie adaptations usually don't work out very well. Yeah, Robert says pick up Garbage Pail Kids for me at Goodwill. I haven't seen any of that stuff at Goodwill.
No. Johnny says the two best commercials ever is the Oscar Mayer song and the Life cereal with Mikey. Mikey.
I used to like the Time to Make the Donuts. The old.
I used to like that too.
Time to Make the Donuts.
And the Where's the Beef lady?
And the kid was, or not the kid. The donut maker was always exhausted. He looked like he was just gonna drop dead. And the phone, the alarm's ringing. It's like 2 a.m. and he's like, "Oh,
time to make
the donuts."
And the Wendy's lady, Where's the Beef? But back then, the one person did the commercial, so you knew the person, Mr. Whipple.
Yeah, they had the ongoing series with one character that went on for sometimes decades.
And then when that person died, they stopped the commercial because when all of those people died, they kind of stopped the commercial for a while. I mean, they back now doing ridiculous stuff, but those people were known, but now you got voice actors like the Lexus guy. The same guy does the Lexus commercial, or used to. But
Link says him and his brother watched Never Ending Story on Tubi. It's been restored and looks good on 4K. Yeah,
I saw Never Ending Story. It was all right.
The lawyer from the Simpsons sued Never Ending Story.
Why?
Because who remembers that episode?
Oh, you talking about
I had a lawsuit against it because they came out with a Never Ending Story 2. The attorney. There's Zom.
Hey, Zom. Hi, all. From sunny
Edmonton.
David, question. I am not a fan of grading anything, but I am always interested watching YouTube videos on various topics. A fellow that collects comics.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he doesn't want to grade, but and I understand that. If it's not
Gilgamesh.
For you, if it's not for you, it's not for you.
Yeah.
I don't grade everything, but there's certain things I do like to get encapsulated. And again, if we miss your comment, it's not on purpose. There's a lot. So are you guys going to check out the second largest comment? Oh,
I read that one already.
Well, you jumped around and I lost my place.
No, I think you put it down 2 times. I think.
Did I?
I don't know, but I did read that.
So we need to sift through this. Technical difficulties. Artifacts of the past. Why was there such a sword and sorcery craze in the late 70s? Well, it was popular at the time. It's like if you watch old vintage television, really vintage television in the 50s and 60s, it was a Western craze. More than 50% of the primetime television programming in the 1950s was Westerns, varieties of Westerns. Some worked out better than others, but that was just the thing at the time. And there was an interest in the fantasy aspect of sword and sorcery kind of concepts through the 70s and into the early part of the 1980s. And I think that peaked with Conan, which is probably one of the best of those films. Actually, Conan doesn't get the credit that it deserves, with Arnold Schwarzenegger, who did his own sword work. He learned how to use a sword for that part so he wouldn't look stupid.
Oh, okay.
But
let's see. Exotic Car says nostalgia is great, but being exploited by the companies and entertainment companies that are what's that word? Can't see it here.
Oh, nostalgia is great,
profaning?
but being exploited by toy companies and entertainment companies that are profiting from our fond memories isn't fun. No, it isn't, and that's exactly what they're doing, and they know that. They're trying to tap into that nostalgia and get into your wallet while you still have any money. Let me see here. I saw something. Oh, yeah, Johnny wants to know, I think this variant thing started with the comics X-Men in the 90s. Actually, it's McFarlane's fault. It's Todd McFarlane's fault, because I didn't see that until that Spider-Man. When McFarlane started doing his own individual Spider-Man title for Marvel, because remember, he was the artist for Amazing Spider-Man through the Venom era. And then when they came out with Spider-Man #1 with the iconic cover, part of the reason why that cover is iconic is because there was like 5 of them. You had the green cover, the newsstand green cover, the silver cover, the gold cover. There was I think a second version of the gold cover, 6 actually, because then there was the platinum dealer incentive, and that's the first time. And I was working with New England Comics at that time. First time I ever saw a dealer incentive cover comic or variants like that, deliberately done. And it was from McFarlane. He carried that concept. He took it from, or Marvel and McFarlane took it from trading cards, which was already doing it. And when he moved from Marvel and started working with Image Comics and did Spawn, he transferred that comics to action figures, because the Spawn action figures were the first ones also to deliberately be doing variants, paint scheme variants, and other things with a comic, without a comic, so on and so forth. So he kind of brought that into comic books and also into the action figure market, where, because people would hunt for variants, but usually variants were by accident. It's because, okay, a company is being, back then we would sublet the contract to another company. Kenner is making Star Wars figures. They want to make them in Europe. Okay, Palitoy will send you the molds. Palitoy makes them and sends a percentage back to Kenner. They don't do that anymore. That's why it's kind of screwy now. But they do it, and it's a little off. Maybe the mold's not quite right. Maybe the paint is being done a little differently. Now you get a variant. That's an accident. McFarlane did it on purpose with Spawn. Then he tried to cover it up at the time. He did, because when he was asked about it, how come this one is this color and this one is this color? How come there's 2 different color variants of Malbolgia? What's going on? And he was like, oh, it's because the a mistranslation with explaining colors to the factory in China. You send a template to the factory. You don't write down what color you want. They can see the color on the template and match it, McFarlane, okay?
They couldn't understand translation issues.
Translation, I guess they see color in a different spectrum in China, McFarlane. Yeah. He wasn't being honest, but he introduced that into toys as well. I know I prattled on there for a minute.
Edwin says, see the thing, Edwin.
Oh, what's your opinion on the $300 Johnny Sacco robot? I don't know. I mean, when prices start getting up there like that, it's for a new item that concerns me, and that's why I was, I only have a couple Hot Toys and things like that. I don't think I'm going to bother to get any more. I'm still waiting on my Tom Baker from I know from
you talk
Big
about
Chief
that Tom
Studios.
Baker.
Yeah, because it's been delayed like 3 times already. And after that, I think I'm done with Big Chief. I've kind of walked away from even Mezco, because I'm getting fed up with the prices on a lot of the modern stuff. If I'm going to be spending that kind of money, investing it, because it is a type of an investment, because it's your money, your time, your energy that you're putting into your collection, I'd rather deal with vintage stuff than a lot of the modern stuff. Oh, Brandon says congratulations to Chris. I hope he appreciates it. I imagine he must have it by now.
Yeah.
But I announced it on the weekly roundup, 2 weekly roundups back, right? Yeah, I announced it then to that, and he got in contact immediately because I was saying on the thing, I'll give it about a week or two, and if I don't hear from him, I'll pick another name, and people will like saying in the comment section they hope that Chris didn't watch.
Yeah, because a week was too long. 24 hours.
24 hours. He got back to me faster than that.
Because he thought I was going to influence you. Ridley says, back in the day, you just had women in bikinis eating Whoppers in the commercial, the good old American way. Yep.
Yeah.
Now, it's, the commercial I hate is that, I think it's the Uber Eat commercial. It's one of those food delivery commercials, and the people are just eating anything like tape.
Oh, you can't just eat anything because it can get delivered. Yeah, and it's like, let's be stupid. And because like, somebody will do that nowadays because people are dumb.
No, but I mean, okay, for you, the actor, and these are well-known actors in it. How much money do you need to? Because to me, that's degrading. Mm-hmm. You just making a fool of yourself, getting on a commercial, eating tape, eating soap, and some other things they were on there eating, and it's like, why would you do that? How much money do you need that you got to take a commercial and they say, okay, for this commercial,
need you to eat tape.
Yeah, or we need you to eat soap. Granted, it might not be real. Yeah. Still, the illusion is there.
Zom says he just saw Retro Ed visiting Justice Curry, I imagine. And he does have an incredible collection. Yeah,
I like Retro Ed. I watch him, and I like his collection, and especially when he does the history of certain toy lines. I like that too. Anybody remember the commercial for Bacon Bits? Dog shouting, "It's bacon!" Yeah, I remember that one.
Margaret Gilgamesh asking about the Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, they've already made it. It's just I don't think it's out yet. But yeah, they're trying to bring Beavis and Butthead back.
Oh, are they? Mm-hmm. Did you see the making of the Beavis and Butthead movie? Mm-hmm. Remember the Chuck Wagon commercial?
I remember the Chuck Wagon. And he would chase and they did that with stop motion photography and overlaid it, and it would run into the cabinet, and the dog couldn't get in.
Yeah.
Yeah, John. Oh, are you talking about that? Like, what is it, Johnny? The Amazing Spider-Man at like 354 or something with the first appearance. It's got the hologram on the front. Or are you talking about the red foil Spider-Man 2099 #1, which are both hard to find in really high grades because they can be easily damaged? Master said, I guess he means the one with the hologram because he says black cover, and it is black with a hologram on the front.
Hank says, check out Dallas Vintage Toys. I've seen their videos on YouTube for Dallas Vintage Toys. He said, if you're in Texas, check them out.
Okay.
They look good from the YouTube videos. They show you the new stuff they got in. They grade everything now. The last video I saw.
Yeah, everything in the shop's graded.
Yeah, they got a lot of, I want to say it was Masters of the Universe stuff. It was something. It was a toy line, and it was like a lot of stuff. And they had just got it back from being graded.
Yeah.
So they grade every piece of whatever they got in the store.
And I'm all for preserving, and I don't mind it so much with comics, but for some reason it bothers me with toys. It does. For some reason, it bothers me with toys, and I've heard of a lot of mistakes being made by some of those grading companies with the toys. Also, getting fooled. And let me see, where are we? Action figure expert. That is not completely true about Todd McFarlane. He made what was called repaint waves. They were not exactly very variants there. Oh, you mean the? But yeah, that is a variant on the figure though. But repaint waves, yeah. And then on first releases, there was a problem with the Malbolgia and with the, I forget the name of the character. He had orange, and there was different colors of the orange, and then he re-released it in green. But it's still a type of variant. And nowadays, it's just done. They They do it all the time.
Let's see.
Ridley says DoorDash is real expensive. There are some deals and get decent amount of food for $20 average. You just have to look for the specials.
No. After now, they're really pushing home delivery. Everything is home delivery. Even the various pharmacies, Walgreens and CVS, all of your grocery stores are home delivery now.
Yeah.
The restaurants, the fast food restaurants, everything is home delivery. It's like they don't want you to leave your house anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are they doing? But
Raw Talk is here.
Hey, Raw Talk.
Thanks for joining us.
What's that?
Reston's Last Stand. He said the classic discount tire commercial with the lady that throws the tire through the window. If you're not satisfied with our tires, feel free to return them.
Yeah, I remember that.
Is the luggage commercial with the gorilla.
And the gorilla was jumping and throwing the luggage around.
He would throw it around and stomp on it and all this other stuff. Samsonite. If it can stand up to this, it'll stand up to the airport.
I like watching the vintage commercials on some YouTube channel, especially during Christmas time, where they put up the Christmas commercials. I like watching them, but just regular. Or if you see a vintage TV show, especially the game shows, sometimes the people will leave the commercials in there, so you get to watch the show with the commercial breaks. I like that.
Oh yeah, Johnny Future. Remember Margaret Hamilton's Maxwell House commercials? Good to the last drop, Maxwell House, or the Folgers, or no, chock full of nuts. That was the one. The better coffee a millionaires money can't buy.
But do they even have jingles anymore? Like jingles was a big thing to sell a product.
It doesn't seem that way.
Yeah, you remembered the product based on the jingle, but there's nothing out there anymore. It's just the product.
Kaiser says, live in your pod and have everything delivered. New World Order. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it seems
They did that in an episode of Mork and Mindy, where Mork was afraid to go outside and he built a bubble for himself in the living room.
He already had that egg.
That was the ship.
Oh.
But he made a bubble and he had like a chair and a TV in there and stuff. He was like, now I'll be safe. I don't have to go anywhere. The one says, if you guys do come to the grand opening in Florence, be sure to go about 30 minutes further into Mullins, South Carolina, to visit Jim's Hobbies amazing vintage collection at steel prices. Okay.
When is that? You said next month. I'll go on the website. Let me write it down.
Yeah,
so I don't forget it.
Because we'll forget.
But yeah, Florence is not too bad of a trip.
Okay. Yeah, Ridley says they're taking the human component out. With deliveries and self-checkout and everything. Yeah, they are. Gilgamesh says McFarlane repaint waves upset me because some of them look better than the originals. Yeah, that's how it works. And it made me wish I'd waited on them. I hate that. That's a thing with a lot of figures now. And what happened to those McFarlane figures? You can get them for nickel and dimes now. They're not worth much. The original Spawn lines, I don't know about the more recent or modern ones, but the original Spawn series that came out in the 90s, they're not worth a lot now. The price has really bottomed. I remember back when you can get like $150 for Malbolgia in the 90s because of that aftermarket that was happening. And now, how much is Malbolgia? Like $10?
Comics.
Robert misses the jingles.
I miss those. In Florence. They're moving into a new building and it'll be late July. Okay. So I'll look them up. Maybe they got a Facebook page or something.
Raw Talk said that the home delivery may be a sign that brick and mortar stores will no longer exist in the Great Reset. Only museums. Yeah, a lot of them, they were hurting anyway. And then the virus scare, the 2 weeks or 2 years rather to flatten the curve, hurt a lot of them. Only the bigger operations were able to hold out. So, yeah, it's hurting. It always hurts the little guy. Zom says the plastic McFarlane uses is terrible. I've heard those figures are not very well constructed. NECA too.
But none of them are. You hear about all of them. The plastic is bad. They deteriorate. You open it up, you move it just a little bit, and it falls apart all over the place.
And I did a video talking about that too, because I get criticized for my stance on that a lot. And it's like, oh, no, you don't understand. You need to put it in boiling water. You need to run a hair dryer. You need to soften the joints with a hair dryer. You need to. No. How about they correct the problem? Because it's been a problem for years and they have not bothered to fix it. And if you complain to them very often, you end up as fodder on their social media for people to laugh at you and pick on you. How about you make it right in the first place? I think in that video, I remember that video, I used Godzilla here as an example. This is Type 3 Godzilla from the Mattel Shoguns line. It's Type 3 because they corrected it twice because of consumer complaints. The first one is a really, really bright green, and people were like, that don't look right. And so okay, we'll make him darker. And then they kept having a problem with the tongue. It's actually flame, but people call it a tongue because, you push the lever and those levers kept breaking off. So they reinforced it. This is Type 3 because he's dark with a thick lever. They listened to the consumers and they made it an adjustment.
But consumer complaints don't work anymore.
They don't work anymore.
Because you remember in the 80s, those group of mothers complained to the cartoon networks to take the violence out of cartoons, and they sure did. Tom and Jerry, Popeye, other shows.
And those 80s and 90s versions are hard to watch. They are terrible.
Yeah, those mothers got together, and it was only a handful of them. It wasn't a lot. But then companies listen to complaints because it's like, okay, if these people keep complaining, they'll go someplace else. We'll be pulled off of the TV. Now, they don't even have a complaint department.
And that's also why, and I think I mentioned that in that video too, that's why a raw G.I. Joe figures have a straight and a swivel arm variant. Because the straight arm ones, when they would try to position the rifles, the kids, the thumbs would break off. And they, all right, how can we fix this? Well, they put a joint right here so that the arms would swivel. Now the kids can pose the rifles without the thumbs breaking anymore. And they fix that quick. Because even the first wave of a raw G.I. Joe figures have a straight and a swivel arm variant. They got on that right away.
But they used to also have a panel. They would bring the product out to just some regular people, have them mess with it, use it, whatever. Okay, how do you like this product?
No. Now they pay people to just say that they like it.
Yeah.
They
get these influencers on YouTube. Hey, we'll pay you X amount of dollars for you to push our product. You don't have to use it. Just push the product. Say you like it. Say that it's good, it's quality, and it's for everybody. And then you do.
Brolycon says he remembers going to flea markets and seeing Spawn figures sealed in boxes going for like $1 or $2 back in the late 90s.
Oh, wow.
Wish he bought a few. Yeah, for that price, sure. And you saw a lot of that too in clearances. I used to love KB toy stores. Their prices were fantastic for clearancing stuff out. Oh, well, Robert wants to know who's better, Mr. Fantastic or Plastic Man. Well, Plastic Man's a lot more fun. And Raccoon doesn't like that McFarlane made so many Angelas. Yeah,
What's
that's right.
Angela?
Angela's a character from the Spawn, from the original Spawn line, and he did make a ton of them.
Really says preschool children are developing social disorders because of their growing around people with masks.
Well,
they can't recognize facial expressions.
In the schools, they're still required to keep them on all day.
Yeah. We saw a kid, I don't know if you saw him. We were in a store, I think in Kroger or something. And the mama is trying to get the little boy to put the mask on. He don't want to put it on. And she's like, you got to wear your mask. You got to put your mask on.
The one says, I agree. I don't want to pay $30 for a figure I have to take home and work on with blow dryers and hot water. It's lame. Yeah, it is. And it's something. Those same complaints have been getting made for years to the same manufacturers, and just they don't care because people keep buying it anyways.
And today, that's how I felt when I went to Target and I saw those Thing figures. Because, like I said, they had both, and those are the figures that I want.
We're fans of the classic, the '80s version of the Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And But then I was like,
The McCready.
do I really want to pay $35 for this figure? I mean, granted, I'm not going to take it out of the box.
Yeah.
But I don't want to, because it was only, what, a year, maybe 2 years ago, it was $24. It's a whole $10 difference.
Kaiser says that the NECA paint flakes at the joints. Yeah, I've heard that complaint a lot too. That it picks off. The one says, I found a guy at the flea market in Florence last month trying to get $50 each for old Spawn figures. I tried to explain, don't waste your breath trying to explain anything to these guys. They look on eBay, they look at the highest price that something is, and they think they're experts, and they think they're going to get that for it. And you can't tell him. He'll bring it to the flea market until the sun bleaches that plastic so cloudy you won't be able to tell there's a figure still in there. That's what's going to happen.
We need to bring back natural selection. Little Timmy ate the many. Read that. I can't see.
Where are you?
I'm up here.
Oh,
I can't see.
Little Timmy ate too many paint chips and didn't get to grow up. Mother Nature will correct society. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Raw Talk says everyone's banking on these modern toys being worth something in the future, but don't understand the modern toys lack soul and nostalgia and nothing but money grabs. Plus, you must wait 70 years. There's a little more to it than that, too. Because remember, when we were kids, we opened everything. You can't find too many Migos still mint on the card from 1974. But how many of the new Migos, what they call it, NU, new Migo, how many of those do you think have been opened? Maybe 10%?
Yeah. Or
maybe
people
15?
People buy so many and
they
put it away.
Perfect. Yeah. And there are people who buy multiples and multiples of those. There's too many. And also, people tend to, when they become interested in a line, will often default back to the original source of that line. So 100 years from now, Star Wars is still an interest. They're going to be interested in the original 70s and 80s Kenner stuff more so than anything else that's being put out now, because they're going to look for the source. And I don't trust that as being a thing. Robert says, I'm still pissed at the kid choked on the Galactica missile. Yeah, that's right. And that's a famous story.
Yeah.
Shot it in his throat, but then the toy company has to suffer for it. And they never finished the line. Because they backed way off. There's figures that they had planned on making that never got done. We were just talking about that last night.
Yeah, we were watching a video, and a guy was showing his Battlestar Galactica set, and he had like the whole thing, and he had the one that was discontinued or recalled. He had it.
Because they never even made Apollo, and that's he's a main character and the commander's son. They never made Boomer. They never made the commander,
the black guy.
The black guy is the commander, and then I can't remember his name. And then Adama was
like the admiral.
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah, like an admiral. But there was other figures they were going to get around to, and they never did. And then the Wave 2 got cut short, and that's why Wave 2 is so freaking expensive. But you're punishing an entire community for the stupidity of one kid. I mean, I get it. He died. But
I don't think he died.
I think he died.
Oh, did he die?
But this is a little kid who wasn't being watched, who took something that shot and put it in his mouth and shot it down his throat. That is not very bright. I'm sorry. And I know that sounds heartless, but that's just the reality of it. Hopefully, you would hope, because there were, talk about projectile toys. Have you seen some of the stuff from the earlier days? I've got the battle wagon over here on the floor, the original battle wagon from the early 60s. That thing will damn near kill you. There's rockets and missiles and heavy springs on it. The old Mark's Johnny Reb cannon would shoot that cannonball like 40, 50 feet.
David exaggerates
I'm not.
a lot.
It's in the paperwork. It is. It's in the paperwork. It's guaranteed that it's got a big spring like this, because it was like a mini cannon. It was a cannon.
See how big of that got? No. Disclaimer: when David speaks, he exaggerates when he gets going.
The cannonball's like this big. You never saw the Johnny Reb cannon.
No, I never. I don't even know what that is.
It is pretty big. and the spring, if you ever saw one taken apart, it's about maybe a foot long, and you have a plunger and cannonballs, and you rack it down in there like a real cannon and pull the string, and it will fire that ball like 50 feet. And of course, the deluxe reading battle wagon. I'll show it to you here real quick. It's on the floor. Right there, the battleship, that's the deluxe reading battle wagon. And all of those things shoot. They're all spring loaded. And it will launch those rockets clear across the room. So that stuff's been around forever. Then one day, one kid hurts himself, and they shut it down.
Nobody can play with the toys.
They shut it down forever. I know, I went on and on.
I know. And now people think you're heartless.
Rollo says he's late, but he's glad to be here. And where are you, Rollo? Is great content product I can recommend over personal permanent use. I guess he's talking about us. Well, we appreciate that. Ridley wants to know if kids play outside anymore.
No,
I don't think so. We're more in a rural area, so we see kids outside sometimes. It's not like when we were kids, though.
Oh, Rollo's back in the hospital.
Oh no,
he's in the hospital.
You're not feeling well?
For that, only on the phone. Okay.
All right. No. Not feeling well?
No. Nothing worth value you'll always have. Here, same thing. I give you guys $5.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
Yeah, Kaiser says, let me virtue signal before this paid sponsored action figure review. The virtue signal. No. The one says, I personally think Mezco is biggest joke in the modern toy scene. A lot of people disagree, but I think they're way overrated, and the release dates are most unreliable on the scene. Yeah. Their release dates are pretty bad. Big Chief is worse. Mm-hmm. The Mezco is hit or miss. I've done a bunch of reviews for Mezco, and I have some that I think are really well done, like the Conan and the Popeye and Space Ghost were pretty decent. And there's others where I've done the review and I'm like, what the hell? What did you do? Like their Gladiator Hulk. He's 3 different colors of green. They didn't even match the colors up right. He can't move. His helmet doesn't come off. The Legends Build-A-Figure Hulk is better than that one.
Oh wow!
The Ghostbusters.
I remember that.
The Ghostbusters 4-pack. The backpacks don't fit. The elbow joints are only single jointed, and while they were producing double joints with everyone else, one of the big things is to be able to get their proton wands. They can't reach them, and I was like, wow, what a load of crap. Come on, Mezco, for the price, that was the most expensive thing they had put out to date. So sometimes they're really good, and sometimes they suck, but I wouldn't ascribe to everything that they put out, Reston's Last Stand says a higher price doesn't indicate better quality.
No,
absolutely
it does not.
Sometimes it's just pure profit for the licensor.
Yeah, it's pure greed.
Yeah, and look for my video if you haven't seen it, guys. I did a video some time ago saying that modern action figure collectors are getting ripped off, and I explained about the model of 3 for manufacturing, because I used to work for Frito-Lay, and they drilled that into our heads. There's 3 concepts in manufacturing. You can give a customer 2. You can't give them all 3, but you can give them 2, and you should give them at least 2.
They try to give you 1.
And most of these toy manufacturers, you're not even getting 1. You're getting none of them. It's price, quality, and availability. Time.
Yeah.
Is it available quickly? Like with potato chips, with Doritos, for example, you're getting from their perspective, you're getting a good quality product. It's well made. It's seasoned well. It holds together well. The packaging is good quality. It's available quickly, but the price, you're going to pay for it.
It's nothing in the bag. It's nothing but air. You open it up, as the bag is this big, and you get this much chips.
The bag is full of nitrogen.
I want a bag full of chips.
And they do that for a reason, because if they used to fill it, and then everything would be like crumbled to dust. And people used to complain about that a lot. They even made fun of it in Laverne and Shirley when they would come with a bag of chips and open it up. Anyone remember that episode of Laverne and Shirley with the Super Bowl party or something? and they pour the chips into the bowl and it's like powder pouring out of the bag. That used to be a huge problem until they reduced how much was in the bag, and they fill it with nitrogen so that it keeps the oxygen out so it doesn't break down quickly, and then it has space to jumble around without getting crushed.
But they don't need to put that much nitrogen. They can put this much nitrogen and more chips.
Whatever. But you're not getting any of those three. And quality to me doesn't just mean a good head sculpt.
Hi, Lou.
Oh, Lou's with us. Thanks for joining us. I just went on and on and on.
Yep.
But David thinks all children are stupid. Ridley, just in off. I think most people are stupid.
He does. He said it all the time.
People are not that bright. I'm sorry.
You know what I mean?
And I'm no Einstein sitting here telling you this, but most people are not that bright. I run into it too often. There's the artist formerly known as Jesse Say What. Say what? Yeah. LPH is a chemist now, Ridley says. Yeah, that must be it. But I just know a lot about it because I was a skilled processor there. And I used to run the factory machinery that made the chips. So I know a lot about the whole process. And the only exception is Colorado. Because in Colorado, there has to be less in the bags, less air. They use about, I think they said 30% less nitrogen in the bag, because if the bag is full, the altitude will make the bags explode in the shipping.
David, have you heard of the new 4-hour film In Search of Tomorrow, the definitive 80s sci-fi documentary?
I have not heard that. I don't know what that is.
Cap guns.
Zom says kids now are not bright. All they care about is a little gadget between their hands. Yeah, that's
cell
true.
Phone.
Cap guns is another lost, because Robert just brought that up. That's another lost art.
Trains.
Train sets.
And also
tin toys.
Yeah, tin toys. But train sets were a big deal. Building it yourself, making the little plants in the houses and the buildings.
And very realistic cap guns was a huge thing in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and even in the 70s. And it burned off in the 80s because they made that law where you had to have an orange tip.
Yeah.
And that started to really screw it up. And the reason they came up with that law was because they said that some of the cap guns were so realistic, people could go and do a holdup with one. But then, of course, if you do a holdup with a fake gun, it's not the same kind of a charge.
Yeah, it's not armed robbery because you weren't really armed.
Yeah, it's just robbery. And it's not a full felony. And so it's a difference of like a decade in jail if you used a fake gun. But I guess they'd rather you take a real gun to a robbery and potentially actually shoot someone or another person instead of bringing a fake gun and then you can plea out, I really didn't want to hurt anybody. I was just desperate. And then spend 6 months in jail instead of like 15 years for accidentally shooting the cashier or yourself. Kaiser says, I, for one, love nitrogen-flavored chips. That's what they do because the oxygen makes it decompose faster. Nitrogen slows down the process.
Hasbro is giving you lip service. Lube and steel toe boots.
Huh? Where's that?
Real talk.
I don't know where you are.
Right there.
Hasbro's giving you 3 lip service, lube, and I see what you're saying. I see it. Kicking a butt.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, you're supposed to be able to get 2 out of 3. Like the example, I think I did it in that same video also, that modern action figure collectors are getting ripped off video, is with the example of Walmart's potato chips. It's cheap price. It's available, but the quality's not there. So you're getting 2 out of 3. You're going to compromise on one of those 3 in any manufacturing model. But with modern action figures, you're waiting forever.
Yeah.
You're pre-ordering stuff and you're waiting a year, sometimes more.
I've been waiting since pre-virus on some stuff.
Yeah, it's insane. The prices are higher than they need to be, and I proved that with 3.0 because 3.0 is deliberately competing with Hot Toys by cutting their prices. That's why they had like 6-scale Power Rangers for $125. because it would have been 300 if Hot Toys did it.
Yeah.
And they're skimping on the physical quality because the way they're constructed is poor. They're badly put together.
Let's see, David, model toy
slot
sets.
toys. Yeah, slot toys.
Oh, yeah.
The slot racers.
Mm-hmm.
That's gone.
Erector sets, trains way back in the day. Yeah, erector sets were a big deal. Lincoln Logs.
I used to have Lincoln Logs. The original Legos, the ones that didn't come with blueprints. You had to figure it out
just
yourself.
got a box full of Legos and you did whatever you wanted with it. Why was the Santa Fe train set so popular back in the 60s and 70s?
Because Santa Fe is a real train
line
company. Yeah. David says, true, if they filled with air, it wouldn't stay fresh, and the nitrogen keeps the bag puffy and keeps the chips from getting crushed. Yeah, and it's, like I said, I used to work for them, so I know a lot about how that works. John says, I remember as a kid, one of my favorite toys, it was cheap to buy and play, was marbles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also Johnny Future, I think, mentioned Jax. Yeah, Jax is gone, marbles is gone, clackers is gone. All of those hand skill,
yo-yos,
those dexterity toys that we used to play with are gone. A kid wouldn't know what to do with a yo-yo nowadays. They'd probably choke themselves with it.
How you gonna choke
I'm tangled up in this yo-yo. Help me! Help me!
You can find a YouTube video to show you how to play with the yo-yo.
Yeah, I guess so. Is that what they do with it? Aurora, yeah, any model kits, any kind of model kits is fading away.
Because people don't want to do anything anymore. Anything that takes a lot of thought and concentration, and unless it's something on the phone or some video game.
Yeah.
They don't want to think for themselves and do anything.
Lou says he always goes for Pringles. I like Pringles too.
I like Pringles, especially the cheese ones.
You know how they're made, don't you? Who knows how Pringles are made? If you don't, I'll tell you.
You don't want to ruin people's
It won't
thoughts
ruin
and
anything.
ideas of the food.
It's nothing evil, but it's just interesting the way they make those.
Okay, how they make it?
Someone else will ask. Yeah, David says kids don't even know what jacks are. No, they don't know what any of that stuff is. Give a kid a rotary phone and tell him to call somebody. See what happens. Kaiser says, I'm just going to live in a padded bubble. They should make clothing out of bubble wrap.
They
just
probably
color
do.
Color the bubble wrap so if you fall down, you won't get a boo-boo. Zom says, Munster's being redone by Rob Zombit.
I thought he did that already.
I think the film is made and it's just not produced yet.
Or not released yet.
Rob Zombie. I read a quote from somebody who was saying that Rob Zombie is the king of copying someone else's success in music and in films. But I'm not looking forward to seeing the Munsters being brought back either. I don't know how well that's going to translate.
I saw Halloween.
About as bad as, I guess, how Dark Shadows was redone as a comedy as opposed to the original.
I did not see that.
Yeah, you didn't miss much.
I bet I did.
Gilgamesh says Gundam model kits seem to still be doing pretty good. That's true. That is true.
But
I think
who's using them?
Yeah, it's adults putting this stuff together, though, isn't it? That's a good point.
Yeah.
Ridley says, I was walking my dog, Andy, and a little 5-year-old boy was scared of her. He pretended to shoot her with his finger. Why on God Green's Earth does a 5-year-old know what the gun is and how it functions from watching television? Because they're not being monitored. Here, Jimmy, sit in front of the TV and shut up, Mommy's busy. And so, and he probably wasn't even mimicking a gun. He's probably mimicking a superhero and thinks if he does it enough, he'll actually develop powers. And he'll believe that until he's about 26, and then he'll get depressed, and then they'll put him on a ton of medication until he kills himself.
Where do you get this stuff? Oh my God.
I know.
This is what I live with.
Kaiser says he needs a YouTube video for yo-yo. Aw.
Just type it in. It'll come up.
Yeah. Somebody's out there. They probably don't have very many views either.
got
David
a lot
wants
of
to know
views.
how Pringles are made.
Yeah,
the
sure
same way,
he does.
The same way, because they're all exactly the same. They're obviously not cutting them out of potatoes. They're making them by using like the same material as powdered mashed potatoes. You know how like powdered mashed potatoes, you make mashed potatoes, but in this case they're using the powder to form it into the shape of a chip. That's why they're all identical. Ross says, do they make Pringles out of mash? Yeah, close, something like that. Yeah, see, everybody wanted to know about
Nobody
that. Zomb asked about it.
Stone Sour thinks you're on a roll today. Yeah, he got the talking juice going on.
Why not says some things should not be remade. I agree. They don't need to come back. I've heard that argument a lot of times about Firefly. I had a conversation with a guy in a comic shop about that once. It was he was behind the counter. I forget. It was in Illinois, and people were talking about Firefly because it was a popular show, one season, but it was a well done show based on the film Serenity, if I'm not mistaken. But it's been, the guy was like, it's been years. If they brought that show back, they'd blow it at this point. Why? Some things are better just left alone. Yeah. That's why Babylon 5 had 5 seasons. It was called Babylon 5 on purpose. The writer of Babylon 5 called it 5 because he only wrote it to have 5 seasons. And they begged him to make a season 6, and he was like, no freaking way, I'm not going to do it. I wrote it to be 5. If I try to push it, it's going to screw up. He did a couple of made-for-TV movies, Babylon 5, that could be inserted in between the seasons. I think he did like 4 or 5 of them, but he would not continue the series past the end of the last episode of Babylon 5 for that very reason.
And then you got some TV shows that people want to come back, and you can tell when it's a season on there that they push, like the TV show The Strain. That was supposed to end, I think it was season 3. And you can tell they set it up to end. And you had a lot of petition to bring back another season. So they ended it kind of ridiculous. It came back for another season. And you could tell that season was forced.
Yeah.
And the ending...
Like Walking Dead.
We stopped watching Walking Dead a long time ago.
Yeah, I gave up. It just got stupid. It was a fun show and it got stupid.
Yeah, after Rick left, he disappeared. We talked about that before. But with The Strain, they brought it back for that last season, and it was a 4th season, and then it ended silly. If they had ended it when it was supposed to, they had it set up, and if they had ended it that way, it would have been good. You're like, okay, yeah, man, that was good. But they forced it, and they do that with a couple with other shows, and it's like just some things you just gotta leave alone.
Yeah.
But
just let it be. Don't need to bring it back. Like David Carradine's Kung Fu, 3 seasons.
Yeah,
it's a well-written show.
Yeah,
it's a well-written show. They tried to bring it back with David Carradine playing his own ancestor. It was all right. It didn't have the same feel at all.
It's back now with a girl.
And it's trash. Just leave it alone. Leave it with the original 70s show. That was a really well-written show. You're not going to reproduce that. That's why they keep screwing up Twilight Zone.
Yeah. Well, I think the writers have no creative ability. They have no creative thought. They can't come up with an original idea, an original concept for a TV show or a movie.
So they copy.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, this worked 20, 30, 40 years ago. Let's bring it back.
Yeah.
Next thing they're going to do Gunsmoke. They're going to bring that back.
Here's an idea. Instead of, because they figure, okay, this movie was really good and really well received, and it has a lot of nostalgia to it. We'll make it again and make that money again. But they blow it. How about you take a film that sucked and then you work on it so that it is good and then release that?
Yeah, get a B film or a D film and work it, retool it, and put that out and see what happens. Get some better actors.
Ridley, you better take care of yourself.
What?
Ridley is saying I just described their life with that. And it's like, no, Ridley, you better take care of yourself. You'll be all right. Kaiser says, tell them how McNuggets are made. You trying to make everybody sick?
David don't know how McNuggets are made anyway.
Chicken and a blender and a lot of water. That's how McNuggets are made. That's all you need to know, okay? Logic Blaster says, I'm impressed with the longevity of Matchbox and Hot Wheel cars, still very popular. Yeah, but still mostly with the adult collectors market.
Yeah.
And like someone else was pointing out here earlier, prices on the older stuff even is starting to fall off a little bit. David says his mother loved Dark Shadows TV show back in the day and couldn't believe they made it into a comedy. Yeah, and she likes the original Dark Shadows.
Yeah, I watched the original one.
Mm-hmm. Wow, what happened? Jumped up. Brawly Coin, look at the remake of shows like Thundercats. They got 2 seasons but didn't finish the other season. Like to produce was wanted, so left with a cliffhanger. Great idea, but it was laying to leave us. And then, Thundercats was brought back twice. The second incarnation, when Bandai was making the figures, was okay.
Mm-hmm.
The most recent one was just garbage.
John likes your shirt.
Oh, thank you. That's from
Johnny Future.
One of the Atlantic comic conventions, and they didn't give us one this time.
No, this year we didn't get a free shirt. You didn't get nothing.
Usually when you buy your ticket, they give you a T-shirt.
Yeah,
and
not
so
this year.
This is the one. Yeah, this is from this year.
Well,
but it's from a couple months back.
Yeah, because it's twice a year.
No, it's more than that.
Oh,
I think they do 4 a year.
Oh,
but yeah, I think it's 4 times a year. But the last time they did, this time they didn't have any.
Yeah.
So cutbacks.
Inflation. David has a dark side. Yeah. I haven't seen the last season.
John says, I about fell out laughing when I read there's now a college seminar course on how to blow bubblegum and ride a bicycle. I wish I was joking.
You are. What? Who said that?
A college course.
Wow, is that the truth? Nuclear ending.
Yeah.
So the sewer is not Chernobyl. It's strain on the brain. Yeah. The strain was a good show until that.
Action figure. How about a movie on Mork and Mindy? How about not? How about we don't
How
ever
about
go
bring
back?
that back?
How about we don't bring that back? How about we leave Mork and Mindy in the 70s where it belongs? The show wasn't that fantastic anyway, but it was fun, especially if you were a kid, and a spin-off of Happy Days because Fonzie fought him twice.
It says, do you guys know son of, what's that word?
Where
I can't see it. Here, the one.
Son of Malbolgia.
Mm-hmm.
He's a toy YouTuber from South Carolina. He did a video on Bible Quest figures. No,
I never heard of him. I had Bible Greats.
Bible Greats figures, yeah.
And We Win.
We Win. Yeah, that's the original one, I think. We Wins. The
Tales from the Dark Side.
Mego-like Bible action figures on the card. Stone Sour, the future chicken is the future chicken and the nuggets will be 3D printed. They're already doing that. Kentucky Fried Chicken's doing it. And
aren't they doing that in China?
Yeah, it's in China. They're doing it, the KFC's in China. And so you can expect it to hit probably Europe and then the United States.
But what are you making that with? Is it food?
It's
sawdust.
Liquefied sawdust.
I think it's sawdust.
It's liquefied chicken.
It's sawdust and milk
in the 3D printer. But I mean, how's that any more efficient than pressing it in a mold? You know what I mean?
What, sawdust and milk, and then shaping it into a chicken and putting some flour on it and frying it.
Well, it is China. They do counterfeit rice there with vinyl and cooking oil with recycled motor oil. Zom says, "Don't touch the old TV shows." Yeah, no kidding.
They did with the Wonder Years. They did that. And what else did they do?
Ridley says they're redoing 3 Men and a Baby.
That movie was stupid.
To begin with.
Yeah, didn't they have like 3 movies to that?
I know there was a sequel. I don't know if they had 3 though. Yeah, this time they'll all be like a couple though. Because it's the modern era and they just can't resist doing that.
Counterfeit food.
Johnny Future says he hasn't seen the original, but he heard the 1982 version of The Thing is better than the original. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. The original was good.
The 50s version is fun, but it's more like a Frankenstein movie.
Yeah.
But without giving too much away.
Yeah. 82 was a lot better.
It was a lot better, and the modern one is garbage.
Yeah. And if they wanted to do another one for the modern age, because the modern one was supposed to be a prequel, they should have picked up from 82.
With McCready and the other guy sitting
Still,
there staring at each other.
Yeah, dead, frozen to death.
I would have liked that.
Yeah, that would have made more sense. They could have picked up and carried on with it.
Yeah.
You know, trying to figure out how did they die, what happened, blah blah blah. But they did a prequel which didn't really make any sense. I couldn't figure it out anyway. Thank God I don't eat nuggets.
Counterfeit rice, look it up. You'll see videos on it how they do that, and they it's not legal in China to do that stuff, but it happens. So,
I bet you get it at the Chinese restaurant.
I hope not.
Your shrimp fried rice.
Shrimp fried vinyl.
Chicken fried rice.
Robert wants to know where LPH comes from.
What do you mean?
What does LPH mean?
Oh, yeah. I was trying to come up with a nice name for the YouTube channel. So I had Lady Pop Hunter, and everybody just shortened it to LPH. That's where it came from.
I mean, it's short for Lady Pop Hunter, which a lot of people think means Funko Pops, but it's actually pop culture.
Yeah. But when I came up with my YouTube channel, I needed a name, and I wanted it to be something, you know, kind of nice and, you know, catchy.
Yeah. Johnny wants to know if he goes to used record stores. Well,
no,
they don't have
record
stores out here, but they do have them like at flea markets and stuff like that.
Bookstores.
We do look when we get a chance.
Mm-hmm. At the bookstores, they'll have some records.
Zom said he was at a toy show in Edmonton and didn't get anything because they thought they were selling gold. Prices are up there.
Even at the Goodwill and thrift stores, they give you some prices, and you're sitting there like, this thing is broke. How are you going to charge this much? Why are you even selling this? It doesn't work. Yeah. And me and the one lady at Value Village, she got mad at me because I was checking something. I can't remember what it was. I think it was a lamp or something. And I plugged it in, and it had a bulb in it. And I think it's a lamp. I don't know what it was. I can't remember. But it didn't work. Uh-huh. And she was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm checking this to make sure it works. And it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, y'all always put stuff on the shelf that don't work. She was like, well, maybe it's that plug. So we walked to like 4 different plugs. I'm like, it doesn't work. That's what y'all do. And she just looked at me. She was like, I can't believe this is out here. I was like, y'all always put out stuff that don't work.
Yeah, that's what because they don't test the stuff anymore.
No, it says tested on
Johnny
there.
Was talking about that today, Johnny Future.
Oh, yeah?
Because he bought a VHS/DVD combo player at a Goodwill today, but it's working.
Oh, good.
It is working. But when I worked at Amvets in the early 90s, and that's like Value Village. And they had a guy, and that's his job. That was all his job was. He sat at a desk, he had a crap ton of batteries and all kinds of plugs and stuff and a ton of light bulbs. And he would test every damn thing. And if it didn't work, it would go right in the dumpster. And they don't do that anymore.
No.
These thrift stores don't do it anymore. And when you buy it, that's it. You're not bringing it back. You're not exchanging it. Nothing.
They'll sell a figurine and the arm will be broke. Yeah. And they still got on there $15. It's like the arm is broken.
Any old piece of crap. Yeah. David says he forgot about Kung Fu TV show. Yeah, it was a really well-written show.
Yeah, we're watching that now. At first, I didn't like it. Yeah. I honestly didn't like it.
Sink in for a second.
Yeah, because I didn't like how they were treating him and everything. But it continued on and it kind of built.
You kind of understand it, and the hardships made him stronger and a better person.
Yeah.
Zom says no Mickey D's in Russia no more. You know what's funny about that is the reason for that is because McDonald's closed their McDonald's in Russia to protest the situation, and they converted and reopened their own version in like a week. So it's like tough shit, McDonald's. Thanks for the protest.
Yeah, we really care.
They don't care, and that all you did was, if we're really being honest about it, all you did was put honest, hardworking Russians out of work who have nothing to do with what's going on.
But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about vintage toys and nostalgia and pop culture.
Robert says he hears George Clooney's going to do Buck Rogers. I hope not.
No.
I hope he doesn't. I don't know. I'm not a fan of George Clooney, like all that. I liked him in
Batman,
in the remake of Ocean's 11.
Oh.
Because originally that was a Sinatra film,
Mm-hmm.
and the Rat Pack was in it. But
I saw all 3 of the Ocean films.
Yeah, and he was in the Batman, and all he's ever done is bitch about it. So he does not need to do another classic like character like that. He doesn't need to do it. He'll just whine and cry about it afterwards, like he does with Batman Forever or whatever the name of the last one was, which people pick on because it's goofy, but it is done like a Silver Age Batman comic. That's what the director was going for, and he pulled it off. You know, like it or lump it. But he's always crying. I didn't like the costume. Schwarzenegger got paid more than I did. I didn't like the script. Yeah, because that's George Clooney whiny voice. Oh God, Schwarzenegger got paid more than me, and I didn't even meet him because we were shot in separate studios. Shut up, George Clooney.
Oh my God, what is wrong with you?
For what he got paid, I would have done that for $100,000. I would have played Batman in that film for free, George Clooney, and done better than you.
You better not have done it for free. Shoot, get something out of it. So I get my name out there. Your name don't need to be nowhere.
Master says, do I buy hot toys sometimes? Yeah, sometimes, but I'm not deep in it.
I want to get deep into hot toys.
Yeah, good luck.
No, I don't.
She has one. She has one hot toys.
You know what I do like? And I saw a guy, his video, he had Predator and Aliens only. But he had like every hot toy of Predator, every hot toy of Alien, and he had every statue of both of them. A little diorama. Yeah, and it was really nice. But I do like the hot toys Predators. I like the NECA Predators. I like how the Predator looked. And I know it's not that many that they made, but you know, you can do a lot with it.
She has the very first Hot Toys Predator in hers, and I don't have much. I've got like the Neo from Matrix, which is actually one of their better ones, I think. I don't think I did a review on that one. I did do a review on the Stan Lee. I got the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 Stan Lee with him in the astronaut suit, which was a really well done figure, and the presentation of the packaging is good too, because it's a gigantic blister card with all the stuff on the card, and the card can be opened and closed like a clamshell, which I thought was cool. Yeah, John, you're right. It's a redesign of the Kiss Destroyer album, but with Lobo, Death Note, the Crow, Eric Draven, and Death from the Sandman.
Hey, my mom's on.
Uh-oh.
Oh, God, you would say that.
What?
Your hair looks great.
Oh. Oh. Her hair always looks great. I insist.
Oh,
Ridley says thrift stores have media specialists. Yeah, okay, yeah, they do. That's why if you see me on Instagram, Open by Chance on Instagram, a couple of weeks back, there was a what was that thing? Speak and Spell in the chat, and they had like $47 on the Speak and Spell, and it was the reproduction. And I'm like, that's an original loose price on a reproduction Speak and Spell that sells for $20 new in the box. You people do not know what you're doing, and you can't tell them nothing. If you try to tell, excuse me, this is a reproduction. Sure, we'll get right on that. Because they think you're shitting them because you want a better price or something, and they're experts. They're experts. They're in the back that are doing the pricing, no better, and their experts are crazy. They're crazy.
Your experts on all that great. They always putting out those broke figures.
Yeah, Robert says Batman George Clooney. LOL. Yeah, I know. He didn't want to do it. He is crying. He didn't want to do it. Crying he didn't get paid enough. Shut up, George.
Master Magnetism is going to see Jurassic World tomorrow.
Are you? I have only ever seen the first Jurassic Park. I never saw
none.
And I played the video game on Sega Genesis.
Oh, did you?
Yes. It's not an easy game either. But because you can't kill the dinosaurs in the game, you can only tranquilize them, and they wake up. but I've never seen the other Jurassic Park films. I hope you enjoy it. Actually, when you get out there.
Stand for part of the problem. The pop and pop vinyl stands for part of the problem when it comes to collecting. Yeah.
Why Not wants us to bring back puppet shows like the Muppets and Splitting Images and stuff like that. They wouldn't be done the same.
No.
That's the problem.
Well, they did bring it back on HBO. Has the Sesame Street.
Yeah, but vintage. If you're watching the original stuff, it's good, but trying to redo it is something else. And the original Muppet Show, remember, that was prime time. It was 8 o'clock in the evening. It was not for kids. Mm-hmm. Kids watched it and they didn't get the adult concepts, which is fine. That's how it was with most of that stuff. All that the original Bugs Bunny, the original Popeye, the original Pink Panther, all of those shorts, the Three Stooges, that was for an adult audience. But kids could watch it and they didn't get it because if there was an adult point being made in there, they missed it. It went over their heads because they were kids. Because they were kids.
Lou said he hoped they don't remake Chips or Fraggle Rock.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, they did MacGyver and
with a teenager.
Knight Rider.
Yeah, they blew those.
Yeah. So now I'm just waiting for, like you said, Chips, Fall Guy. Those two.
Logic would like to see a biographical film about the life and work of Ray Harryhausen. Hasn't there been something about Ray Harryhausen in his work? It's fascinating. And he did that for decades. And the last thing he did was Clash of the Titans, I think, and then he retired, right? But yeah, I'm a fan of Ray Harryhausen. And where are we here? Zom says vinyl records here at Value Village are stupid expensive. Really?
They're like $1.
They're like $1 here.
Well, at Goodwill, they're $1.
I think they're about that price at Value Village, too.
Oh, are they?
That's about what it should be. And if you get a gem, you get a gem. So, I mean, I think that Grace Jones one that we found is like $30, $40. Mm-hmm. But we're not trying to sell it. But, just for the sake of argument, that one album is worth more than we paid for all of them.
The thing that get on my nerve at Value Village, they like to put different prices on the books. At Goodwill, books are a set price.
That's true.
You got your children's softback, hardback, adult. But at Value Village, they put all kind of weird prices on the books depending on what they think it should cost.
Literally.
It's like they don't sell the books. They got carts and carts full of books. And it's like, sell it for a set price, 50 cents, and you'll sell it.
Kaiser said, have you noticed people shake hands less and they fist bump? If that.
They do the elbow.
Oh, what's up, homie?
Oh, my God. You had to take your medicine.
I don't take any medicine.
Yeah, but you're going to start.
Robert, yeah, I would love to get the Kraken too. That's one line I don't think I ever had anything from was the Clash of the Titans from Mattel. And yeah, the Kraken is like a grail piece for a lot of people. I'd love to even have that loose. I would put it right down here with these guys. Hey, Rollo, are you still in here? Does this look familiar right here? Does that look familiar? This one piece right here, this little mini Mexican bootleg Mazinga.
That's the one he gave you?
Yeah,
sent you? Yeah,
Rollo gave me that.
Let's see.
Stone Sour's not thrilled with the modern Jurassic Parks.
Oh, really?
You don't like the new ones? Like I said, I've never seen.
Two old geeks are talking.
Oh, excellent! Thanks for joining us. I haven't seen but the first one. I never saw any of the other ones. Oh, excuse me. I don't know if they're
Brandon
any good or
has to go.
Oh,
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Sorry that you have to take off.
Yeah.
We see Action Figure Expert. If you recall, there was a Chips movie and there was a reboot of Night Weather, so it's already been done. Night Weather? They did a Chips movie? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. It must be a made for TV. Yeah.
Masters wants to know if you have the Titus or Megator Classic Deluxe figures. You mean the original ones? No, she don't have those.
I have the
those are those two
classic
Italian ones that are like this big. They're like $5,000 a piece.
I have the classic ones, the Mattel Classics.
Yeah. Robert, you know Godzilla would win that fight.
Kraken or Godzilla. Yeah, the classics. Yeah, I have the classics.
Ridley wants to know if I would have been old enough to get drafted in the 80s.
No.
Not until the very end of the 80s.
Really trying to figure out how old you are.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, just tell him.
No.
He's 61.
What? Yeah.
I love the Megator. I have let me see if I can see it from here.
She's got
two of them.
She's got the Maddie Club ones.
Yeah, that's the ones he's talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant the original ones because they were only made in Italy, right? And the boxes always look like shit, and they want like $5-6 grand a piece for them.
Yeah.
And you'll get it. People will pay that.
Yeah, they will.
Johnny says, I saw your weekly roundup. If they made a Godzilla versus King Kong
Kong
62 lunchbox, you would get that? Who knows? But yeah, I remember that one. And then you don't know if there was a clear winner at the end, too, because Godzilla just got bored and swam away at the end, didn't he?
Why are the retro figures so popular? Are people just buying for the card art? Oh,
are you talking about the Mattel ones or the reaction figures from Super 7?
Super 7.
I don't know. With both of those, I believe it's the nostalgic feel of the way it's carded and the card art. And in Super 7's case, even though they're $5 more expensive than the $5 and $6 more, depending on where you buy them, than the Mattel versions. The card art really pops unless it's a photograph. Sometimes they put a photograph, like they did that with the Xena ones, and I was like, oh, that sucks. But the card art looks great. The figures do not. The figures do not look very great. Kaiser says I'm 89. I must be doing something right because look at this great arm candy I got here.
Remake of the Fall Guy with The Rock. Oh, God.
Oh, no, please don't do that. Are you serious? And I'm not a fan of Dwayne Johnson either.
No, I don't like him at all. No, I don't. I don't like him at all. But he was good in that one movie that was based on a true story where there were bodybuilders.
Yeah.
Wasn't that him?
With what? Which one?
Where there were bodybuilders. It was him.
And Wahlberg. And it was based on a true story. Yeah. That was him, right? That was Dwayne Johnson playing the dopey one. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I liked him in that. That was a good movie. I'm not a fan of his.
Yeah.
I've never been. I never seen him wrestle. By the time he came out with wrestling, I wasn't watching wrestling anymore. So I don't know anything about.
I wasn't a fan of him in wrestling either.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it was that interesting.
A lot of people liked him, but I wasn't watching wrestling then.
Well, he was set up to be popular though because he was born into the wrestling. You know,
that don't mean he couldn't be a heel because some heels are very popular.
Yeah, some heels are great. I don't know about the modern day because I don't like it. I've tried to watch some of the modern stuff and I'm just like, oh, this is just doesn't feel right at all.
Yeah, I tried watching it.
Pain and Gain, Brolycon.
Yeah,
yes, that's correct. Thank you. And that was a true story.
Yeah, I saw the 2020 when they did that, and it was like, it was weird,
were crazy. It was
you couldn't believe it.
Weirder almost than the film.
Yeah, because even the police didn't believe it.
Yeah. Raccoon Eye says Roddy Piper was the best heel. Roddy Piper was a great heel.
Was he a heel?
Yeah, he was a heel. Well, you remember that whole bit with him and Jimmy Snuka and the coconut.
Yeah, but back then, because everybody was so likable and so popular, some people you didn't see as a heel. Like him, I never really thought of him.
Two Old Geeks is asking, he says he knows nothing about Black Adam. He's an old DC character. Yeah. He's an old DC.
That's who Dwayne
he's
Johnson
supposed to be. He's supposed to be the original version of Shazam or of Captain Marvel. But the original Shazam, who was corrupt and never transformed back, he stayed in Shazam mode purposely, and so the modern day Shazam is supposed to be his replacement.
Now, when we saw the Shazam movie, didn't they hint at the Black Adam at the end of the movie?
I thought so, but now Black Adam don't have him in it. They've got Hawkman, and no, Black Adam was not originally black. He wasn't exactly white either, but he was not a black character, if I remember correctly.
Well, Dwayne Johnson is mixed.
Yeah, he's
so
mixed.
I guess
so
it fits.
I guess I think they made Hawkman black too in this film.
Well, you know they're doing that now.
Yeah, evil Shazam. That's a way to put it. Kaiser wants The Rock to play every character. Goodbye, Kaiser. No. I haven't seen the. I haven't really paid attention to the Black Adam trailer, actually, Stone Sour, so I don't know too much about it.
No, I didn't see it because I know I'm not a fan.
I
wasn't
I'm not happy with Shazam though. It started off okay, but when they just jammed Shazam family in there, because that's an old DC like Silver Age concept, is the Shazam family. When they just blasted it in there at the end of the film, that ruined it for me.
What family? Because he was not adopted, but he was in foster
Shazam
care.
family is a group of people that borrow his powers, which he lended to them in the film.
Yeah.
But I mean, he spent months montaging learning his powers. Oh, but Shazam family, everybody's fine now. They can just do whatever. They know exactly how the powers work automatically, and it's like, plus now you've got all these characters with no development. So I was like, what the hell is this? I think they just blew it with the ending of that. Master says Cyclone and Dr. Fate are in the film too. That's correct. But I don't know too much about it. Rollo says love goes out to Mazinga, never dies. Yeah, gotta love the Mazingas. I got 3 versions of them there. This is Mattel versions 1, 2, and 3. And this one is the most closely based on the original Popey design. So 1, 2, and 3 Mazinga. And there's another version of this one that's like a Canadian version, and the only way to tell the difference is his missiles are reversed. You see he's got red missiles with white fins, and the Canadian version has white missiles with red fins. Otherwise, you can't tell the difference.
Nobody can see that.
They can see. Yes. Yeah, Pierce Brosnan is paying Dr. Fate, and I like Pierce Brosnan.
Massive Magnus want to know if I'm getting the Thunder Tank. Yeah, I did pre-order the.
We'll do a review of it when it comes.
Yeah, because I do have the Super 7 Thundercats. Now, when I ordered the Thundercats, I didn't get the first wave because they were the exact same. And when they presented the first wave, they didn't show how it was going to be packed and all of that. So I thought it was going to be just like the Maddie Cub, so I didn't get it. So when the Thunder Tank came out, they re-released
a couple of them,
Panthro and Lionel. So I got Panthro and Lionel to go with it.
Yeah.
So I did it that way.
And who was just saying there? Yeah, Raccoon says Jake the Snake's life story is so depressing. A lot of them are. Are. And it's some interesting stuff there too, because Hacksaw Jim Duggan, when the movie The Wrestler came out.
Oh, that movie is
hard
a
to watch.
Time.
A good film, but it's
very
hard to watch.
Good film, but you can only watch it once.
That's how a lot of these guys have ended up. There are some that are popular, and there's a bunch that are living off of autographs.
Yeah.
And Hacksaw denounced that film, saying that they just want you to see the bad side of it, blah blah blah. And now he's running out of money, and now he's on the autograph circuit, and he's doing the thing with where you buy a minute. What do they call that? Where the celebrities, and you do the personalized greeting. He's doing that now too. So he ended up there as well, even after blowing that off. And it's like, don't blow that off, because especially back then, I mean, where these guys were not being taken care of. At all. A lot of them suffered greatly and had nothing to show for it, and still don't.
We watched a lot of videos on YouTube telling the backstory of the individual wrestler, or sometimes the teams, and they're hard to watch, and they're very sad, because they'll talk about where they came from, how they got started, their time in wrestling, usually WWF, and their downfall, or maybe they died or were forced into retirement. And now we're watching the ones on bodybuilders, because I like bodybuilders. I like bodybuilders, and I like strongmen. And they have a lot of videos talking about the bodybuilders and like the old ones that are retired or died and the things that happened to them. And they're pretty heartbreaking when you see it. You sit there like, man, these people put themselves through so much, and they don't, wrestlers weren't getting paid that much for
They
the
were getting
amount.
screwed, and that's
Yeah,
where WCW came from, because they all bailed on McMahon because
they weren't getting paid.
yeah, he was willing to pay them. They were big paychecks, and you even heard, for example, like I've read Bret Hart's book, and he talked about that extensively, and he said that he even went to McMahon and he says, "Hey, I got an agent from WCW who came to me and offered me X amount, and I'm not fully considering it, but I wanted to bring this to you, talking to McMahon here. If I can just get a little bit more, he says he's being offered like 2 million, and he's barely making like $100,000.
Hmm.
And he was like, if I can just get a little more, I think the loyalty is more important. And McMahon basically tells him in the book, I don't give a F what you do, and he was like, and that just made the decision for me. And I went and I took the contract. Everybody was going to WCW for that money. Their writing sucked, though. That was the problem.
Yeah.
But and I was out. I got fed up with it. We could do a video on that too. I got fed up with it when they had Chucky and Jay Leno
I
on
was
the
out
show,
of it before
and
that.
I was like, that's it. I can't watch this anymore.
I got out of it when they started bringing Stephanie and the son in more often. And, Stephanie would argue with her mom and dad. And then she got up there one time, was complaining because her dad had bought her a car. She wanted the turbo. And she had slapped the mom on stage. And I know it's fake.
Yeah, but
I
still.
do. But, yeah, that was just, it's just a line. And that was over the line for me, and I had quit watching it. And it was starting to get stupid because Triple H had kidnapped Stephanie and married her, drugged her, and
Yeah.
it was like, I was like, okay. I started backing off, and then when she slapped the mom, I was done. I didn't watch it no more after that. And that was in the mid-90s when that happened.
Juan says those are great Mazingas. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. The original Mattels. Like I said, I don't have a Popey, and the Popey looks almost exactly like this one. And the only difference is the Popey version does not say "Made in Japan" on the back.
Oh.
This one does. I guess it doesn't need to say "Made in Japan" if it's made in Japan, but it looks exactly like this one. And there's one version of Mazinga prior to this one that was made by Popey, I think 4 years earlier, and the colors are drastically different. It's a much lighter coloring, and they came with more accessories. The Popey ones are much better than the Mattel ones. The Mattels scaled things down quite a bit, but these are great action figures. I love these.
Ridley says, "Where's the live action Thundercats?" They've been talking about that live action Thundercats for a while.
They've been talking about that so long. I remember when they were talking about casting David Carradine for Tigra. Seriously,
Really?
That's how long they've been running that one around.
And Robert wants to know, have I watched the animated DC movies yet? No, I watch one a week.
Yeah.
I don't binge.
Yeah, we don't. Neither of us binge.
I don't binge on anything. I watch one a week. I'm trying to figure out the order. I have a list, but it tells you the order that they came out, not the order that they fall in. So now, I just watch it based on that list. It's not in order though, but I would rather see it in order because they do fit together.
Yeah.
But
Lee says, didn't Shazam movie had Superman at the end? Yeah, I believe it did. That's correct.
Well, it wasn't his fault. It was like the figure, because they couldn't get Henry the Cavill, whatever. He was doing another film.
Yeah, walking into the lunchroom or something like that.
Yeah, and they just kind of showed him. You saw like the body, but not the face.
2 old geeks got to go. Home cooked hot wings and beer time. Catch you all later. Okay, well, this video will still be up.
Yeah.
So we should be able to catch it later.
Raccoon Eye said Mickey Rourke did a good job on the wrestler. He did. He captured that, and I think it captured the life of a not so popular wrestler really well.
Yeah.
Because he was in a trailer park with no money. He had problems with his daughter, working in the grocery store.
And still would rather go in the ring, and just for that little bit of applause in that moment in the spotlight, willing to kill himself to get that done.
And then I like the way they ended it, because you don't know if he died or not.
Yeah,
he did that jump, and it kind of
the guy was like, "Hey man," and they do that, because if you the wrestlers, they try to watch out for each other.
Yeah.
In real life, and the guy was like, "You all right, man? You want me to carry this?" And he was like, "No, I'll get up on the rope. I got it."
Yeah.
Because he would have spotted for him. He would have made it work.
But yeah, he wanted that last little bit, and you see that in music. You got all of these 80-year-old rock stars coming out with their hair jet black and all this makeup on, and
shirt open so that you can see their drooping man boobs.
Yeah. And they still trying to get out there.
They're still trying to get out there and rock, and they sound awful.
They do, because I heard Led Zeppelin.
Oh, I know.
Oh, I had to turn it off.
Yeah.
It was a live concert.
Or Come On Irene. Look for the live version of Come On Irene if you really want to cry.
Yeah, that was bad. And then, you'll have not so much movie stars. Sometimes a movie star, they'll try to come back and get into a film.
You need to just retire, like Jack Nicholson. I'm glad he retired, because they couldn't get they stereotype you into those roles. They typecast you, because they wouldn't give him nothing but comedies, and some of them were not that good.
And he's a good dramatic actor. If you see some of his old stuff, what's that one about the guys on the motorcycle he was in?
Easy Rider.
Yeah, he was in that.
And he wasn't even a main player.
And he was also in the one with the plant, the eating up the Venus Fire.
That was Little Shop of Horrors. That was just a bit part.
Yeah, but still, he was.
That was fun. Johnny was saying those 1 minute talks are like $150 a minute. It varies. I've seen them as cheap as $50 or something. But yeah, it depends on who it is and how much they're asking.
David said he was going to do that.
I am. Who am I going to talk to?
Somebody hire you to do a spot.
Oh, someone hire me? I'm not that popular. I'd have to sell them for like $5.
You got to start somewhere. Then you gradually raise your prices.
Ridley is saying he used to go around doing stand-up shows at dive bars.
Who?
I was lucky at Ridley Cinema.
Oh, he used to do comedy?
I was lucky to get just a little. Most of the time, I got a free beer or a sandwich. Yeah, it ain't easy at the bottom. It's hard. It's hard work.
Yeah, you got to work.
Yeah. Robert says, love Batman and Robin. I like Damian. Everyone hates him.
Remember that live action cast. Out of Sight said, do you watch The Boys? David watched The Boys. I watched.
I got through most of the first season, and I couldn't watch it anymore because the vulgarity was too much for me.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of that. They could do it without it. You know.
And then they have an animated version. I tried watching that. We watched about 10 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then they have another animated superhero show with Bryan Cranston, the guy from Breaking Bad.
It's like claymation.
No, it wasn't claymation. It was animation. But he's old, and there's a bunch of old people, and they live in this mansion.
Can't remember the name of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, but it's very vulgar. So, But I think I watched a full episode, but I couldn't watch anymore. It's too vulgar.
Yeah. Stone Sour said the best thing WCW ever did was NWO, and they messed that up after a while. That's true. And they had something going with it, but their writing just wasn't good, and they got weird. They got really weird. McJunkin says the old wrestlers in WWF always gave the best interviews, especially Randy, Macho Man, Savage, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior. You know what the difference is? The modern interviews are all scripted.
Yeah.
Back then, it was like, just go out there and talk. And that was something, again, in Bret Hart's book that he complained about. He said he knew he wasn't good at that. He said that for appearance and the three things that are important is technical skills in the ring, your physical appearance, and how good you are on a microphone. And he thought he was pretty good in his look and his technical skills in the ring, but when it came to microphone time, he didn't think he was very good. And for an example, he said, like Hulk Hogan, his appearance was really good, his microphone skills were really good when he'd get out there and just say, "Hey, brother, and take your vitamins," and just flip out. But in the ring, he sucked. He was like a 2 out of 10. but
Macho Man was the best on the mic.
He was good. Even George the Animal Steel was good on the mic, even though he didn't talk. He would just, because he didn't know what to do either. That was the thing. They said, go out there and just do something. And he was like, I don't know what the hell to do. And so he just went out there and was like, and just, George the Animal. And it worked. They loved it. They were like, okay, people think you're nuts. Keep that. Or that's what made Steve Austin popular.
Yeah. He had got hurt and couldn't do nothing.
Couldn't do anything
else. So he got on the mic.
Because he was the ringmaster. Remember, he'd come out there, da, 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 like it's a circus with the cap and everything. Here comes the ringmaster. And it was bullshit. It was just something McMahon came up with and stuck him with, because he used to do that to people. And he was injured, and they wanted him to do mic time. And that he wasn't even in WWF. He was on the other one.
WCW?
No, not WCW. He was on, I can't remember the name of it. It was one of the subsidiaries of WWF they had bought out, where they send you down. It was like the dump. It was all the crappy wrestlers are down there. And he says, just do some mic time, guy. It's all right. You don't have to go in the ring. We know you're hurt. And he was like, just say, he says, what do I say? And he says, nobody cares. Say whatever the hell you want. And somebody was out there doing a religious bit on the microphone. That was their angle. And they said 3:16. They were quoting something from John 3:16. And he came out there and he says, 3:16, I'll give you 3:16. How about Austin 3:16? That's where that comes from.
Yeah.
And he just went nuts on the mic. And he came back and they were like, that's really good. Keep doing that. And he was like, really? And so, I've seen Steve Austin in interviews. He said he went from eating raw potatoes because he was so broke. He was, I would buy a bag of potatoes and sit in the car and peel them in the parking lot and eat them, because I had nothing. I had to spend all the money on gas because they wouldn't even pay for my transportation, to being Steve Austin 3:16 and coming out and throwing beers all over the place and making a fortune. But that they don't have that anymore, because they're not allowed to say what they want anymore. McMahon insists that they be scripted now.
Zom says, Jack Nicholson did old horror movies. Yeah, I saw his first one. I think it was called Terror. I think. What
yeah, that's right. The Terror with Boris Karloff.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Kaiser, Creature from the Black Lagoon. Surprised that hasn't been canceled. Oh, no.
Canceled? How you mean?
Because it's from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, yeah.
Creature from the Lagoon. The indeterminate. The ambiguous. Zom says Harley Quinn's the same thing with all the swearing.
Oh yeah, man, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I don't care for it. I mean, the boys. I mean, I think it could have been better if they just toned it down a bit. I didn't need all of that. A lot of graphic sexuality and a lot of harsh, vulgar language, and I was just like, I don't like a lot of that. I don't think it's necessary.
Mm-mm. Part of me hopes we get a Sean Connery cameo flashback
in Indy 5. Yeah.
But it's also Disney, yeah.
Let Connor be. Yeah, they don't need to do that.
Yeah.
They don't need to bring Sean Connery back. Robert says you'd probably hate the Harley Quinn cartoon. It's like I like the cartoon, but it's dark humor. I don't know how I feel about any of that. Yeah, Ric Flair was really good at spinning too.
Yeah, he was real good. I liked him. Bret Hart, I like as a wrestler. But he had a lot of wrestler. What?
He's bitter.
He's bitter. Oh.
Hard business on the road, most of your life away from your family, a lot of stress. He talked about that too. He said he was really bad to his wife, really bad to his kids and his family. Ignored them.
Yeah, out of sight. Super Mansion. Okay. That was the one with Bryan Cranston, whatever his name is.
He talked a lot about that, about being on the road all the time, never getting any sleep, always in pain. But as much as that is, he still went crawling back to McMahon every time. And it's interesting.
How do they keep up with their physique and their body?
Work out whenever you can. He said, I think he said, if it was him, if I'm not mixing them up, that they spent a lot of time in those hotel gyms.
Because that's not hotel gym is not a good gym.
No,
like
but
for
whatever.
that. Yeah, I mean, if it's what you got, is what you got.
Yeah.
But because I've heard a lot that some of them drive everywhere. You
Yeah.
always got to be somewhere. You're always eating like takeout food and stuff like that. So you're not healthy, and
Yeah.
some of them got good physique. Some of them don't.
Sloppy.
Yeah, they
Zom
look
says steroids. Yeah, but you can't just take the steroids. Don't work if you don't work out. So you
Yeah,
still
you
got
still got to do
put a
something.
lot of effort into it to get them to work right. So, but that there are a lot of wrestlers who've done that. You can tell the ones that are stupid cut, that are out there wrestling, were probably using steroids.
Yeah, probably.
Master says you guys should watch Hannibal TV. He gives a lot of old school wrestler interviews. So many great stories. Oh, okay.
I know it's a couple of them that we have watched. I don't know the names of them, but they'll do the backstory. About 30, 45 minutes. They'll talk about one wrestler and do their like life story. We watched that. And like I said, now we're on bodybuilders because I like bodybuilders.
Yeah.
So we're watching that.
They got a short lifespan.
Man, and the amount of drugs they take, not just the steroids, but the insulin and all of these different hormones and stuff like
they're
that.
Not diabetic; they just take the insulin.
Yeah,
and diuretics and stuff like that in the on season.
And then on the off season, they gain a lot of weight
because they still eat the same amount of calories, but without the chemicals, they just put weight on, so they'll gain like 60, 70 pounds of fat and then lose it again. And a lot of bodybuilders, they have strokes, heart attacks,
kidney failure,
stuff like that. They die badly.
It's a shame how much they put their bodies through, and they said now with social media, they're always on demand. So they're off season, they don't have a chance to just kind of rest.
Yeah, and so there's been a rise in heart attacks with the bodybuilders in the last few years because of that, because they're always on blast. It used to be your off season, you just go to the gym, go home, nobody's bothering you.
Yeah.
Now they're on Twitter and TikTok and
Instagram. Always got to put on pictures and stuff like that. And it's a shame because they work hard. I mean, you say what you want, but they lift those weights to hard. Look like they look.
You don't spend 5 days a week, 8 hours a day in the gym moving the equivalent of a car around and not say they're working.
Yeah, they work hard, and the same with the strongman, because we like the strongman too, and we watch the strongman competitions, and man, the stress they put on their body.
Difference being with the strongman is because it is considered a sport, but they call bodybuilding a sport. It's really not. They're more like modeling, but it's not technically considered a sport, so they can get away with all the chemicals. But with the strongman, they can't. They do test them, so they're doing that without the enhancement.
Yeah, and bodybuilding does hurt your joints. So does strongman. It hurts. It takes a toll on your joints because of all that weight you putting on and stuff.
Johnny says he's seen some exclusive interviews with Mark Calloway and his wife. Great interviews with them both, telling how it is on the road.
Yeah, I've seen one. This preacher, oh God, what's his name? He's out of Texas. He did an interview with the Undertaker.
Yeah,
we saw that, and I think it was supposed to be 2 parts. We only saw one, and it was real good. And he talked about the stress on his body, all of the surgeries, life on the road, the divorces he's had, the remarriages, and all of that. And it's just a lot with all of that.
Master of Magnetism says Ultimate Warrior was doing that with the insulin too.
Oh, they were doing insulin back in the 80s?
Because it causes some kind of alteration. If you're taking, it's a combination thing. If you take steroids with insulin or certain types of steroids with the insulin, it helps with the steroid absorption. But that's some tricky mess.
Yeah, some tricky science that you got to deal with. You got to know exactly what you're doing, get the right amount of dosage.
And then you still see the wear and tear because he died young too, by comparison.
Yeah.
Raccoon Eye says that they like the Atlas stones.
I like the Atlas stones. I like that in the frame carry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I like everything because I like the deadlifts
Yeah,
too.
it's all pretty hard. I like the kegs, the kegs of the sacks where they throw them
Oh,
over,
where they throw it over
throw 'em
the
over the
thing.
heads.
Yeah. Now they got the Arnold wheel, the
Oh yeah,
wheel of pain.
they rebuilt an exact replica of the the millstone from Conan the Barbarian,
Yeah.
where he's walking and he's pushing the thing, and it weighs like 20,000 pounds. So to get the guy to turn that wheel one person by themselves and try to get a revolution is extremely difficult.
Yeah. So they're just counting your
And
steps.
it's got sand counterweights. The barrels are filled with sand. So as they turn, it shifts and it's trying to push you back.
Yeah. It's fun to watch. I mean, you gotta, everybody got their thing. Hey, Donovan.
Hey, Donovan.
So you gotta kind of want to watch it, if that's your thing. I mean, I'd rather watch that than like golf or tennis or football.
Yeah, no kidding. Ridley says that they're getting some exercise equipment for the house.
Yeah, he said that.
Oh, you said that. You put it up again.
To get out of the physical therapy. Yeah, I mean, get yourself some exercise bands.
Once you're back in shape, keep doing it.
Yeah, don't stop. That's the thing. Because I know some people there, you start doing it, you get past that hump of the soreness, and you start feeling better. You're like, oh yeah, I'm healed now. What a miracle. You got to keep going.
Yeah, you got to keep going. Johnny says Mark's body's really messed up and he has to do regular therapy. Doesn't WWE pay for physical therapy even after they retire?
Not.
I don't know, because there was a lot of controversy around that, because there's that's why they were trying to get them into the stuntman's union. I don't know if that ever worked or not, but especially after what's his name, Bret Hart's brother died. When he
Owen,
when he
Hart?
fell,
yeah.
when he fell. That's not the first time he was seriously injured either. Owen had been seriously injured on several occasions, including his testicles. There was an accident with a turnbuckle, and his testicles were hurt. Brett talked about that in his book too. He said they looked like grapefruits, and I was trying to convince him to go to the hospital, and he thought he was going to lose them. And fortunately, the swelling finally came down on it. But Owen was hurt a lot trying to do over the top stunts because McMahon insisted.
It's crazy the stuff they do for that guy, and they don't get anything.
And they keep crawling back to him after he went to WCW, came crawling back. After his heart attack, he came crawling back. After Owen died, he came crawling back. It's amazing. And that's just him. There's several others that went through that kind of stuff. You see, Master says, heard a recent interview with Lex Luger, and the interviewer asked him who was the strongest dude he met in wrestling. He said Ron Simmons, Farouk. Yeah, I remember Farouk.
Imagine golf, but
the ball is 2 tons. Okay.
I hear Mark Henry is one of the strongest. I don't know. Is Mark Henry that black guy that was also a strong man?
I think so.
I think that's
something
him,
like that.
Because he's a strongman commentator, and he always asking the strongman to get into wrestling. He always do that.
Yeah.
I think that's him.
Ridley says the new Darth Vader stunt double is suing Disney because he wasn't being paid for the time and had to pay out of pocket for physical therapy. That's Disney for you.
Yeah, but we were talking about the Undertaker today, because if you remember that WrestleMania match, when was it 2020 or 2021 when they did WrestleMania came back and they did the cemetery match?
It's like a movie. It's not even a wrestling match at all.
Yeah, I can't remember who he was wrestling, but they did the whole thing in a cemetery, and they dug the grave, and they had the hearse. And I told, we were talking about it because the Undertaker, he can't really wrestle anymore. The man can barely stand up.
We've seen photographs of him outside of the wrestling area where he's walking with
braces.
With braces.
Yeah,
he's
like
got
the 2 arm braces,
all hunched over.
Yeah,
because his knees were so bad.
And then he's talked about lots of back injuries and back pain. and I was surprised when they said that he was coming back for WrestleMania, but I think they did that more for him. They doped him up, but they know they couldn't put him in a ring with a live audience.
Yeah.
So they did that and said, "Oh, because of COVID, we can't have a live match."
Yeah.
So they did that so that people won't see how bad he is, because they did a lot of cutting. So they could have
spent days filming
yeah,
that.
they could have filmed like yeah, they could have took days or weeks to film that and just splice it together. And you don't know. I mean, I thought it was good that they did that. If that's the case, they'll never admit it, but I really believe that's what happened. I thought it was good because they know how bad he is and he couldn't do it, and they don't want to have him looking bad in public. But it's just you get so sad, and I see them at these shows. I don't go there because it's too heartbreaking. Because you remember them on TV at their prime,
and now they look like they just would beat to death.
Yeah, and every time you see Sergeant Slaughter, he's sitting on that little walker. You know, the walker that got the chair on it. You push it, and then it got the chair on the front. He's always sitting in that. He'll stand up, and I know he talked to me the last time we saw him.
Yeah, we see him a lot.
Yeah. But I was I didn't even want to look at him because I was like, God, if I look at this guy, I might bust out crying.
Scott Hall, and then she was like, "That's not Scott Hall." I'm like, "Yeah, it is. That's Scott Hall."
And also the guy was there that broke his neck.
Lex Luthor
was there in his wheelchair.
Yeah.
And you see that, and it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because you remember them when they were at their prime.
Yeah.
And now you see them, and it's like,
No, Donovan, I did not see Mantooth with his Batcave profile. I didn't know he put out another video. I didn't see that. Brick Mantooth. The he does Facebook and YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Screw your feelings. Mark Henry's gimmick was world's strongest. I think that's right.
Oh yeah, he was the one. Yeah, he's the we're not a spokesman, but what's your commentator?
Yeah.
He's there all the time at the Arnold Classics.
Stone Sour and a couple of others talking about Andre the Giant and the drinking stories. Oh God, he used to drink a lot. And that one, it was Bad News Brown, which it was bad news for him that night when Andre had diarrhea on him, and it was because of the clam juice. He said that I believe that's what Bad News said in the interview, was that he was drinking clamatos and wine all freaking day. And he would drink like a case at a time easily, and all that clam juice and wine. And he got sick, and then he's like, I'm sorry. And then he was like, just get up. And he's like, I can't, because he was sitting on him, and Andre couldn't get his balance. He couldn't get off. And Bad News said that, I think it was Bad News, right? Said he just gave up. He was like, the match is done as far as I'm concerned. And he just walked off stage, left the crowd, and went to the showers.
Reading what Johnny Future said about Margaret Hamilton. She got seriously burned in a stunt, and they wanted her to come back and do another fire scene, and she refused, and her stunt double did it and got burned up.
That's great.
Yeah, Sergeant Slaughter seems like a nice guy. He does seem like a nice guy, actually. And like I said, the last time we saw him, I had because he's always at the front door. Like, as soon as you walk in, he's like right there. And we walk around, and you would pass him like 10 times. And I was talking to somebody, and he got up and he came and stood in the middle of the walkway and was like, "Hey, do you want to come over and take a picture of me?" And I said no, because again,
it's hard on her. It tugs at her heartstrings.
It does, because I mean, I have no problems with disabled people, because I have disabled people in my family. I work with them.
Yeah,
that doesn't bother me.
We work in mental health.
Yeah, that part doesn't bother me. I don't feel bad for them or anything. That doesn't bother me. It's just not knowing, but you see a person and you come to know them by watching them on TV and all that, and you have this idea of them, and then you see them years later when they're I guess, down on their luck. They're not at their prime anymore.
Yeah.
And it's just
it can be a little hard.
Yeah, it's just kind of heartbreaking. And I try to always be happy and have a bubbly face. And then I know if I look sad and kind of horrified, they look in my face and they're gonna be like, oh,
Action figure expert says they have to go.
Oh, thank you for stopping by.
Thanks
and
for
all
joining
of the
us today.
Yeah, spending time with us.
Yeah, Screw Your Feelings says breaks my heart when I see a lot of the legends now. Yeah. It's hard.
It's hard to see them because you remember when they were at their prime.
Yeah.
Say,
Master is talking about Virgil from the $1 Million Man, right hand man, has something wrong with him. Yeah, he's an ass. Nobody likes that guy.
I've never seen him.
Nobody. Graphic Man has joined us.
Hey, Graphic Man.
Pop it in, Graphic Man. Well, we know.
Stone Sour said Virgil is the loneliest wrestler.
Because what's his name from New 80s Revolution has a story about him. What was his name? New 80s Revolution. You know who I'm talking about.
I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah, he was going to get a $1 Million Man autograph. Will just show up at autograph signings uninvited and try to sell his autograph. And he had a belt he was carrying for $1 Million Man to sign. And Virgil walked up on him and signed it. And then he's like, what the hell? Because that's not what he was trying to do. He had something specific in mind, and Virgil blew it for him. But even $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, has said that Virgil's been a problem for him over the years, where he was like, dude could at least call and say, hey, can I tag along, instead of just showing up to signing events. I don't mind him being there, but don't just show up at venues and start stuff or try to sell autographs or try to cut lines and stuff. It's weird. Yeah.
I've seen pictures of him, people taking the pictures, and he's sitting at his table and nobody's at the table. There's no line. There's nobody sitting with him. Nobody trying to talk. Because you go, and it's always people around the table talking or whatever. But his table, and you could see around it, and it was like a lot of people there. But his table, totally empty.
Yeah. What was it say? Ridley was saying, the biggest problem with these celebrities is they open their mouths about crap they don't understand.
Yeah.
I like Schwarzenegger as a person, but as a person, he's really stupid. Yeah, and
he lost a lot of people after that comment.
Screw your feelings comment. Yeah, and that's the celebrity attitude, because he is an elitist. He is, he is a wealthy celebrity. He's had a charmed life. He's never had a hard day in his life. He was AWOL, and he went AWOL from the army to go to a bodybuilding event and got a pass because he won. They were like, okay, because you won, we're gonna let it fly, in a country that is extremely strict about that kind of stuff. So he's always gotten the golden ticket, and to sit there and tell us screw our freedom when nothing's going to affect him because he can afford it is cruel.
Yeah.
And George Takei put his foot in his mouth too, from Star Trek Sulu, because he said all those 20 million AR or 20,000 ARs,
20 million.
20 million ARs in the United States would be really useful in the Ukraine right now, because he wants us to not have guns. Then somebody commented and really burned Takei with it. Actually, some commentator, some professional commentator, I forget who it was. Thank you for pointing out exactly why we have the Second Amendment with your statement, because to defend yourself.
Yeah, you want somebody else to defend themselves, but not us. But that's not what this channel is about.
I know. I'm just saying. We're just making the point about celebrities putting their foot in their mouths, trying to chime in on things.
Virgil wants the spotlight and not getting it, I guess. Yeah.
Donovan says, was Goldust the gay wrestler? No. Goldust was the perverted wrestler, and that was another. He was a heel, a really bad heel, but he was led around by a female, like a dominatrix kind of a angle, and she would lead him on a leash.
But wasn't he the one that had all of the gold glitter and paint all over him?
Yeah, but it was a female handler that would bring him around on a leash and things like that. It was really weird. It was really weird, but it was one of the characters I think McMahon came up with for him, and
I don't
He
think
went
it
along
was
with
a
it.
gay wrestler.
I don't think he was specifically supposed to be gay though.
I mean, I don't think it was a gay character. You know what I mean? That's what I mean.
It was
Not that
supposed to
the
be
person.
a sexually perverse character because he did weird stuff like that. Didn't Virgil make that song F Money, a rap song? I think that might be correct.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he did do a rap, didn't he?
Really says he likes how to keep you from saying something controversial.
Well, no, I try not to because we try to keep that away from this channel and just stick with the nostalgia, the toys and comics and TV shows and commercials and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
and it leaks in every once in a while
because you get enough of that in reality. In everyday life, in commercials, TV shows, sports. You don't need to come here and see that. It's places you can go for that if that's what you want to see.
Yeah.
So we try to keep it kind of light.
People try to, because it's an escape.
It is.
You want to escape from that because it's on blast all day, every day. And it's like, can I turn it off for a minute? Nope. But yeah, we try to give you an opportunity to turn it off.
Yeah.
We do stray away from that here.
Yeah. Or try to anyway. What is that? McMahon called gold dust androgynous. Oh,
yeah.
did he?
Yeah, I guess so. John says one of his favorites from WWF was Tiny Lester, aka Zeus. Those crazy of his used to scare the crap out of me. I remember. Oh, the Eye. Yeah, I remember Zeus. And he was in the movie. You know who that is because he was the guy from Fridays that everybody was scared of.
The big black guy. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I know who that is. Debo.
That's my chain. That guy. That's my bike. And he was in No Holds Barred, right? Was that the name of the wrestling movie?
I didn't see.
Really goofy movie, but it was fun. Yeah, Devo.
Dusty Rhodes was gold dust. Was he?
Dustin Rhodes, yeah, I think that's correct.
I thought Dusty Rhodes was Dusty Rhodes.
No.
But wasn't there a wrestler called Dusty Rhodes?
Yes, I think that's his father.
Okay. The boy's better than thought of. What?
No Holds Barred, yeah, thank you.
Do you guys have co-workers who collect? No.
No,
they don't.
They don't know nothing about that, so that's fine, and they can sit there and do their celebrity gossip.
Yeah, all they do is celebrity gossip. They wear eyelashes out the hair, nails out the there, a new wig every day, every week. Oh.
And I always question. I don't want to know the answer either. How do you change an adult diaper with 4-inch acrylic nails?
How do you wipe yourself off?
I know how that's done.
Yeah, you looked it up.
Who wants to know?
I don't want to know.
Hervé Villachet would have been the biggest heel in wrestling. Hervé Villachet was not a nice person in real life. Kaiser says you can't escape that stuff at work. I bet, and some of the companies make you. They make you get involved with that political garbage.
Can't believe you put all the Joe vehicles back
together. Most of them I was able to put together, actually, the ones from out of that tote. I still have a few that are like husks, but hey, Graphic Man says you have a very good balance, good commentary, nice toys and figures with just the right amount of common sense talk sprinkled in. Don't worry, you guys are doing it correctly. Well, we appreciate that.
Yay!
I appreciate that. Oh, here, I'll show you the maggot since he brought that up because it's sitting right over here.
The meanest villains are usually the richest or the nicest people in person.
Yeah.
The Debo imitation. Yeah. Fifth Element, Tiny Lister. He was in the Fifth Element?
See, this was out of that box lot too. And it was complete. I got every piece. But the radar dish, there's the dish. It was broken, but the peg was still in the slot. And I got the peg out and I'm trying to see if I can repair that.
You can glue that back on.
Oh yeah, just like pour some Elmer's glue on there.
Some crazy glue.
Crazy glue, huh? But yeah, I had. I mean, again, for $409, you can't argue. So that was a phenomenal price and a great pickup in a day and age where it's difficult to find anything decent at YouTube, decent at Goodwill or thrift stores.
Donovan said he likes my hair today. Did I ever have a big afro? No, because my hair don't ever do right. It doesn't stand up. It takes a lot to just get it to do that. Yeah. So I try not to mess with it too much.
We could do that on 70s night.
We don't have a 70s night. What are you talking about?
We should have a 70s night. And I'll get bell bottoms. I want one of those bell bottom jumpsuits.
Ooh,
with the
cat
and I want a big belt, a big thick leather belt, and a big thick leather band wristwatch and platform shoes.
Really say, why does all these chicks caked in makeup and have 6-inch nails have names like Yolanda and
Bonquisha,
Pam and Keisha?
Yeah, Pam Keisha.
Yeah.
Ross says we're the coolest. Thank you.
You too hard to go. Yeah.
Shag carpets were actually comfortable, but hard to keep clean.
Yeah, all kind of stuff got stuck in there. You always make my day. Wonderful. Hope you bring Crumb back. He ain't coming back.
Well, so he's happy where he is, and that's really what it's all about. Is if they're happy, and we got enough of them here hanging around still, even though Miss Kitty Miss Kitty doesn't like Uncle. We have this one cat called Uncle, and he tries to be friendly to her. Big tuxedo cat. He's big.
He want to get his groove on with her.
Probably.
And he always sits at the window.
Upset. She'll start hissing and scratching at the screen if she sees him out there.
He comes inside and
takes a nap.
Yeah, he goes and sleep on the dresser.
Or somewhere.
Jump up on the dresser, and then she'll lay there and watch him the whole time.
Yeah, staring at him, waiting for him to move so she can growl at him. And then and then there's other ones that like when there's one we call Brother that comes in. She ignores him completely, like he's not even there.
Yeah.
Oh, Brother's cool.
Yeah, he can come and sniff her face, and she's fine.
Yeah, and he wanders around, and but again, those are strays that we take care of that hang around the house.
Master Magnetism want to know if we got a TV down here. No.
No, we do.
Where?
We had that one TV.
Oh, we got that little retro TV.
That little portable
TV.
And it takes like 10D batteries to run it for like 30 minutes.
It does work. It has the TV and the radio. But we don't use it. We don't use it.
Robert says the sparring cats. That's brother and sister.
Oh, yeah. The one they fight all the time. It's playing.
They're playing.
But they fight all the time.
They are always on the back porch. They live back there.
Rolo.
Oh, Evil Knievel. Yeah, I would love to get my hands on an authentic original Evil Knievel jacket. That'd be cool. Not likely, though.
Rolo says, thanks for the joyful moments. It's always a pleasure.
Well, thank you.
David, if you keep that costume up, you might be singing YMCA.
Not YMCA. They got better songs than YMCA.
Macho Man.
Not the hook. This is one of the weird tricks with Macho Man. Because usually
every man should be a macho man.
Usually the hook of a song is the best part, but in Macho Man the hook isn't that great, which is the macho man isn't that good of a part. The rest of the song's pretty good actually if you're paying attention to it.
Yeah.
But they have better songs than that.
Every man should be a macho man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Working out.
Big mustache. Yeah, look at my muscles. Big.
I'm gonna grow chops. I'm gonna get this bit off, and I'm gonna get big old 70s mutton chops.
Yeah.
Oliver says, just finished cutting the grass in time to catch some of you two live for a change.
I need to cut the grass, but it's too hot.
Yeah.
I like cutting the grass, but not when it's 95 degrees outside.
And then Kenny just joined us.
Hey,
also.
Kenny.
Hope you guys are having a good night. Yeah, we're doing all right.
Rain something, say Nacho Man.
That's a good point. Master says we could watch 80s cartoons down in the museum. But we
listen to records.
We do. We spin the vinyl down here. We got a nice big stack.
Spin the vinyl.
Spin that vinyl. Putting it on wax because it's the new style.
Oh my gosh, he is just, I don't know.
Ross says I want a Michael Jackson Beat It jacket. They used to sell them. Zales used to sell them. Remember Zales department stores? They had the they had the Beat It and the Thriller jacket, and they had the reverse Thriller jacket. They had the black with the red instead of the other way around.
I had the T-shirt.
They were vinyl though, so they sucked.
The T-shirt of him, the album cover, the one, what was it? The one where he was kind of lounging in the white jacket, and I also had the poster of that, but I had the T-shirt too. I used to love Michael Jackson. What was the first record you ever bought? You remember?
The first vinyl record I ever bought actually was Michael Jackson's Thriller.
What about you guys? What are the very first?
See, this is
the TV.
Yeah.
We found this at like Goodwill.
Look at all the D batteries.
Yeah, I know, it's like a million of them in there. We found it at a thrift store or Goodwill or something like that.
Oh no, these are C's. I'm sorry, C batteries.
But it's a modern one because you can see all of the jacks in the back. See all of the jacks.
That's not that modern. That's no. There's only.
Still.
This is like early '90s jack configuration.
Yeah,
but we found it at a thrift store for like $2, for like $2 or something.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, what the hell?
We didn't buy it for it to work. We just wanted it as part of the decor.
Yeah.
So that's why we got it. We really didn't care if it worked or not. Hey guys, what's up? Okay, that's Kenny saying, "What's up?" Hey Kenny, watch 80s cartoon. We saw that Nacho Man. I want Michael. Want a Michael Jackson jacket. I hate admitting that I love that song. I Will Survive is a catchy one too. Yeah. How do you guys clean your vinyl records? We have a kit that I got off of Amazon. It's a brush and a spray, and you just wipe it. And it does.
And hey, I'm all for. We listen to a lot of 70s and 80s stuff. We like the 80s classic, or it guess 80s music is its own genre. We like disco.
Mm-hmm.
We like the 70s rock, stuff like that, Led Zeppelin, and we enjoy that.
80s, 70s, 80s, and 90s R&B. I like that.
Oh, Oliver says Rod Stewart's gold lame outfit was always awesome. Yeah.
Kaiser said his first one was Smooth Criminal.
Okay.
Smooth Criminal.
Robert says he's got that TV in black.
Oh yeah, because it came in a lot of colors, a bunch of different colors.
Yeah. It's another one too that I used to have. I don't have it anymore. The astronaut helmet television. Anybody ever see those? It's actually completely round ball, and it has a chain on the top so you can hang it, or a stand so that it can sit on a platform. Like the platform goes like this, and then you got the big ball, and it's got a tinted screen, so it looks like actually a helmet. And they also made a radio that was the same configuration as that matched it, a little stereo. It was a little ball, but I used to have that TV in white. It came in different colors.
Really want to know if we got any appliances from the 70s and 80s. No. I'm all about modern appliances. I mean, you got to draw the line somewhere. I mean, I like modern appliances, but I don't need all of my appliances to have Wi-Fi. I don't need a Wi-Fi microwave or
modern
stove or TV. Not TV.
They don't need
refrigerator.
My refrigerator doesn't need a USB port.
Yeah, and to be connected to the Wi-Fi. Long as it's keep the food cold, it's good enough. I don't need all the rest of that. OMG, I got that TV. Okay, yeah. Rod Stewart, Brett, the Beat Street vinyl to the movie, and the Fat Boys' first album. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All I get.
And that's the one where they're standing on the pizza, right? The first album. It's got "Don't You Dog Me" and what's on that one?
Who knows? Rolo says Coca-Cola will clean your records.
Yeah.
So you can use that, I guess. Radio does work.
Okay.
Tears for Fears was here in Tampa yesterday. I like Tears for Fears.
And the next two albums I got were a gift. Somebody gave me 2 albums, and it was the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, which had a lot of really good disco tunes on it.
Yeah.
And the heavy metal soundtrack, which had some decent rock songs on it as well.
Okay, I never bought a record back in the day, but for my collection, my official first purchase of a record is Kenny Rogers' The Gambler, which I bought a few years ago. Okay.
That's a popular one.
Yeah.
Ross says he wished we were neighbors. And Screw Your Feelings loves their vinyls. Hey, I got a soft spot for the vinyl.
I like my vinyl.
Yeah. And Robert says he still has his box TV VCR combo. I remember those when the TVs were coming with the VCR. They had a lot of mechanical problems, though.
Yeah, because if that VCR didn't work, the TV didn't work.
Yeah.
It would break down on you.
Oh, Oliver wants to know, does your friend that collects any and all Mattel toys try to collect Hot Wheels? I don't think he does collect the Hot Wheels. Just the play sets and action figures and toys, but I don't think he gets Hot Wheels.
What's this name?
Ray's owner.
Ray's owner wants to know the oldest toy in the museum.
It's probably, if I was to hazard a guess off the top of my head, it's probably going to be the deluxe reading battle wagon, because that's 1961 if I remember correctly. And that's, I'll show you. It's over here again. I showed it earlier because someone was asking, it came up in conversation. And that's it right there. You see the battleship sitting on the floor, and then the box to it is right above it next to the gray gory Mattel vampire bat. But that's the right there, the deluxe reading battle wagon. Classic toy. And all the missiles and rockets work on that. It also drives. If I turn it on, it will make bell and whistle sounds and drive across the floor, and it's still working. It's still in working condition. But I think that might be the oldest toy. It might be the oldest actual toy in here.
Remember those 70s egg chairs?
Yeah, and the hand chair. It looks like this.
Oh, the shoe one.
The shoe? A shoe?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember a shoe.
Look like a shoe. My mom has a snowman candy jar from the 80s. I remember eating Hershey's Kisses out of it every Christmas.
Yeah, Raw Talk says, yep, with All You Can Eat. And that video, you ever see the video, All You Can Eat?
That was on the movie.
It was in the movie, too.
Not Breaking.
I forget. The one with the Run DMC's movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they really ate all that, except for the last scene, because they had 3 go-arounds, and then the last one they got stupid because they're carrying like whole uncut salamis and stuff. But in the first session, I think I remember one of them saying in an interview they actually ate all of that, and just time lapsed it. It's like, oh my god, yeah, Johnny Future, the original beanbag chairs. I think they try to bring that back.
Yeah, they brought that back a couple of years back.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see.
Robert likes 8 tracks because he likes that clacking sound.
I don't remember 8 tracks. I remember it, and I remember having a lot, but not listening to it because they were phasing out. Because we had records and tapes, and I remember 8 tracks being around, but not really listening to it. I remember an 8-track player because we had that big.
That long one, the console.
Yeah, with the radio, record player, 8-track player. All of it was in that one big piece, and it had the built-in speakers and all of that stuff.
Master wants to know if I like Iron Maiden. I was never that big of an Iron Maiden fan.
That's the rock group, right?
Yes. And Donovan says LA disc jockey. I forgot his name. I know what you're talking about, though. Had a big hit with Disco Duck. I think it went #1 on the charts. It did. And the irony of that was he did that song as a joke because it was meant to be a parody of some of the simplicity of certain disco songs. Because some of them are really good and some of them are not, just like any other music. But he was picking on that fact, and it kind of backfired, and he ended up with a one-hit wonder out of it. Same thing happened with Frank Zappa, because Frank Zappa was a big, especially in the 70s, musician. And he had, I think his biggest hit was Valley Girls, but he wrote the song as a joke. The dun, 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 Valley Girls, and he hated it so much he wouldn't do it. And his daughter is actually the female voice on that song, and so whenever that song was done, she would have to go out and do the speaking part, and they would have to play a recording of his voice because he wouldn't come. But I think that was his biggest hit, was actually the Valley Girls, and he hated it because he wrote it as a joke.
Crush Groove.
Crush Groove. That's the name of the movie. Yeah.
$6 Million Man, my fondest memories.
Yeah, I like the $6 Million Man. That was a well-written show also, and a very popular Kenner Toys line.
Johnny doesn't miss cassettes. Hated trying to perform surgery, getting that mouth of tape strip out of the player. Yeah, sometimes the player would eat the tape.
Oliver says Rick Dees. Thank you, the Disco Duck DJ. And Robert wants to know if the G.I. Joe truck floats. You mean the APC? I think it's supposed to, but don't expect it to stay afloat for long because it will absorb water. Ridley says it's a weird feeling being nostalgic for an era you never grew up in. I'm a late 90s, early 2000s kid. I was looking up pictures of 70s supermarkets and just felt warm inside. It is a whole different world. I mean, as you can see, like even right now, growing up as a 90s kid, it probably feels like you're on a different planet right now.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how it is for us?
30 years ago.
Yeah. And in the 80s and even the 70s, it was so drastically different.
Yeah.
And you can be nostalgic for that era without having grown up in it, just because maybe you think you would have enjoyed it better, you know?
Yeah, and sometimes you just feel like, man, if I lived in a different time, a different era, a different place, you know, just what would your experience be like? What would your mind frame be like? You know? So I like the 80s. That's when I grew up, and time seemed simple. You had choices, but it didn't seem like you had a million, like like with cable. You got 10 million channels and nothing's played because you don't want to see half of them, and they double channels, and sometimes it's a bunch of just stupid stuff. But you had, when in the 80s, you had like 5 channels, something for you to watch. It caught your interest. You had good shows, good wholesome shows.
They had to be good because you had to fight for that spot. There was 1,000 scripts trying to find their way into an available slot on one of the major networks. Nowadays, there's so many channels, they'll take anything just to fill the spots.
Yeah. And it's probably easier now to get your show on the air than it was in the 60s, 70s, probably even the 90s, because you only had a limited amount of networks, and they picked and they choose, okay, what will the audience like? Now you can put your stuff on any network.
Rollo says oldest toy he has is a moving tin soldier from 1939. That's cool though.
Yeah, that's
pretty cool.
Put some pictures up.
Where are we? Oh, Marco has joined us.
Hey, Marco.
Says, hello again from Cape Cod. One penny for 11 8-tracks, Columbia House. Yeah.
He showed his Columbia House sticker sheet.
I got it sitting here. I have an original sticker sheet.
I used to stick the sticker sheets up on the wall from Columbia House.
This is not for the 8-tracks though. No, this is for VHS cassettes.
Yeah.
And I got to be really careful.
He's gonna frame that thing.
I am gonna frame it because you can't find these. Try looking this up on eBay. You will not find it. It's gonna be.
You gotta be very careful.
Yeah, I gotta be careful because it's folded in the original envelope configuration.
And it's like, who keeps stuff like that? You know. That thing came out in the 80s. It's a sticker sheet.
That is awesome.
And turn on the back. It's not even yellow. You remember how because you can lick that and it sticks. It's not even yellow.
Look how clean that is.
Hey, it looks brand new.
Yeah, it is. And of course, this is from Columbia House Video Cassette Library, VHS. And this is, for those of you who aren't old enough to remember, back in the day, VHS cassettes cost around $100 a piece. So that's a fantastic deal.
Yeah. But Columbia House did the records, the tapes, the VCR tapes, cassette tapes. And then they moved over to CDs and DVDs. I don't know if they got the DVDs, but they moved over to CDs. I know that. Then it kind of died off. I don't think they're around anymore. Let's see. Where are we? Of the past 100 years, what do you think is the best decade? The last 100 years?
Probably the 70s.
I don't know. The 70s, 80s
or the 80s. 70s and 80s. And somebody was saying that they're really impressed with that deluxe reading Battleship. They'd never seen it before. Maybe I'll do a showcase on it if anybody wants to see it, because I know a lot of people probably have never seen the deluxe reading stuff. And deluxe reading used to make toys specifically to be sold in supermarkets during Christmas. That's so you would have had to, on Christmas in like 1961, 1962, your parents would have had to buy that from the local grocer. And they had other stuff, like they got a tank, and they have some other really cool mechanical toys. But that is motorized, and it does work, and it's got all the original little figures, because there's little army men that go with it, or sailors, and it shoots rockets and missiles and all sorts of things. And I got the box and the instructions and everything. Unfortunately, I'm missing the little radar dish.
See, and that's where you buy that separate, because somebody had one and they tore it to pieces. And you can buy just that.
It's hard though. I've tried. The last time a dish for a deluxe reading Battle Wagon came up on eBay, I think it got like $80-$90.
Wow!
Just for the little plastic radar dish.
You got to get the 3D.
And I've got the antenna that goes on top of the dish. I just don't have the dish. A lot of people are saying 80s and 70s.
Yeah, because if you think about it, you didn't have, I mean, okay, racism always been around, but it doesn't seem like it was as prominent as it is right now.
It's gotten so bad recently.
And I mean, I don't know, I might not be know what I'm talking about, but it seemed like today in 2022, race relations in America is way worse than it was. I'll say the 80s because I was born in the late 70s.
And she says maybe she doesn't know, but she does, because she grew up in the deep South.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm not saying that it wasn't there and it wasn't around. I'm just saying it feels like, I guess because I'm older now and I can see better now and I'm more aware of what's going on. Maybe that's the reason. But it just didn't feel like it. It didn't, I don't know. But back on track with nostalgia.
Ray's owner says that they're a big G.I. Joe raw collector. And I'm a fan of G.I. Joe from like 64 to about, I guess, 94, 95.
Okay,
so
that's a big span.
Well, they've gone through several incarnations, and I like the raw era as well. I've got a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, really say we all bleed the same.
Yeah, basically. And Johnny says you should get that framed, and that's what he's going to do. That's definitely on the radar, is to get that framed, because, like I said, those sticker sheets, they just don't exist. Nobody's got those. Master says he remembers Grandma buying Masters of the Universe figures a lot. That's cool. Screw Your Feelings says, my wife is saying that was the only thing they ever got new as children were those cassettes. We're having a good laugh with that memory lane stuff right here. Yeah, and that's what it's all about. I mean, that's why we do the nostalgia talks.
Yeah, I didn't get a lot of toys as kids, but as a kid, I got bikes and I got radios, and I was able to get tapes. And when CDs came out, I was able to get CDs. But I didn't have a lot of toys growing up. I had some. I remember some dolls. I remember my dad building me a doll house. I remember that kind of stuff. But like a lot of the toys I have now, I didn't have any of those as a kid. So I didn't have it then. So, it means more to me now because I never had it.
Yeah, me
as
too.
a kid.
I didn't have hardly anything either.
Yeah.
Because birthday and Christmas, I didn't have. Birthday, because my birthday is close to Christmas, so they were combined. And then Christmas, that last when I talked earlier about those Star Wars figures, it's the last time I got a Christmas gift, and I was like 10.
Yeah.
Because she just told me I'm not going to bother anymore. So I didn't get much of hardly anything. So
Yeah,
and so now I get to everything that I wanted or might have wanted growing up. I can do it now.
Yeah.
And enjoy it and appreciate it probably better than I would have if I was a kid or if it was just given to me.
Yeah, because I don't think I would have appreciated it as a kid. I probably would have lost it because I remember having a toy box and I remember it being full. But I don't remember one toy. Well, the only toy I do remember, I had a doll that was, tall as me, and you hold your hand and you walk with it. I remember a Barbie doll, and that's it. The only toys I remember. I remember a lot of blocks, that kind of stuff, but that's about it. So now, I'm able to get stuff. I remember watching it on TV or just seeing it or knowing that it was there. But I never went to the toy aisle. We didn't go to no toy aisle at Walmart. And there was no Toys R Us around or other toy stores. You only had Kmart and Walmart. And we never went to the toy aisle. I don't think I knew it was a toy aisle because we didn't go.
Yeah.
So
Rollo says he thinks the 80s were the peak for the Western culture. I agree.
I think the music in the 80s was the best.
Yeah, music was really good. 70s and 80s music.
70s and 80s music, I think, was the best.
Wrestling, the golden age of wrestling was between 75 to 95, so that pockets in the 80s too.
A lot of good TV shows came out, 70s and 80s.
Movies. Some of the most iconic films are in the 70s and 80s again. You could go on and on with that.
Yeah.
There's so much that fell into that era or within that 20-year block. It's incredible. The cartoons, some of the best animated shows and things.
Yeah, I mean, with the 90s, you got more technology. You got the internet. You got computers, and the plan was to put a computer in every house, and I think they've surpassed that.
Yeah, they've done that
because I know in this house, we got 3. And then everybody got a phone or 2. Yeah. So, the technology has gone way beyond what I think people imagined in the 90s. But it seemed like with the technology, a lot was lost. A lot of personality.
Yeah.
A lot of personal, you don't talk to people.
The convenience of it makes people lazier.
But you don't talk to people no more. You don't have customer service like we said.
Yeah. More impersonal.
Yeah, it seemed like they want to keep you in the house. Everything is order out. Have your medicine sent to you at home, have your groceries sent at home, all your food. They want you to buy your car online. Now you can go on Amazon and buy Hyundais, Carvana, and these other car dealerships. They sell you your car online. They bring it to your house. They deliver it to your house. You got Zoom. You don't go outside to go to work anymore. They got the robot that cuts your grass. It's like, God, does anybody go outside for any reason? But
I guess not. They're scared of being outside. You gotta hide. Trevor wants to know if you ever find old AC adapters and not remember what they go to.
I got a tote full of AC.
The tote of shame.
If I find one, or I keep them because it's going to fit to something.
Yeah.
One day, it's going to fit. So I keep it in a tote. AC adapters, plugs, the plug to go on the back of the TV that you don't need anymore. The audio video jack, you don't need that anymore. But I got some.
Kaiser wants to know if I think that we've gotten dumber as a species. You know what I'm going to say.
Yeah. David think animals are smarter than people.
Master says, I remember at the Toy Atlanta video, you guys were at this past year that actually had the GI Joe carrier was 40,000.
What carrier?
That one guy had crazy prices. He wasn't trying to sell nothing. He had that carded Jawa. He had 82,000 on it, and it's like, okay, you don't want to sell it.
What do you mean the flag?
Yeah, just put not for sale.
No,
all right.
We've been to those things. I've seen the flag. I think the cheapest in a box is $1,000.
Yeah, if it, rough shape. Whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, it's complete in the box.
Yeah.
But
I'm not even trying to get the flag because I don't know
want him to have.
She wants me to have it, and I really appreciate that because it would be nice. I just don't know where I would keep it.
Yeah, it don't matter. You got it. It's all about possession. I keep trying to tell him that.
I know. 9/10 of the collecting law, but I'm really more so got my heart set on a Terrordrome.
Yeah, that Terrordrome.
Yeah, but yeah, and Reasoner says a lot of modern technology is based on laziness. Yeah, convenience. They call it convenience, but it just makes you sloppy.
Yeah.
And Robert says, do miss choices being taken away, movies going digital, ordering everything online. Yeah, it's like, because that was a big thing. Even when, as a kid, to be able to actually go to a movie theater and see a film, that was a big deal.
What was the first movie you saw in the theater? Y'all too. What's the first movie you saw in the theater?
Murder by Death.
Oh, you saw that?
Yeah, saw that in the theater as a kid. Murder by Death, which is a comedy parody of television detectives.
Mm.
It's actually pretty fun. That. You did see that.
Oh, did I see that?
Yeah, you did see that.
Mm. I saw that.
And the second film I ever saw was Star Wars.
Johnny said he don't remember his first one. Stone Sour said the first movie I saw in theater was Jurassic Park. Really, absolutely true. Mm-hmm. The woman on the dating.
Oh, because they're talking about the top dating seems to have become impossible. There's such a hookup culture with young adults. No one wants to actually get to know each other. Yeah, if you actually get to meet someone that you really jive with and you're really compatible, you can have a really nice experience and a great life with them. Just saying.
Raw Deal saw Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Raccoon Eyes saw Jaws at the drive-in.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Robert saw Star Wars.
Two Old Geeks, Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shannon saw Savannah Smiles. I don't know that one. The first movie I saw in the theater was Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure.
Okay.
Or Rambo 3, one of the two. Did you say jive? Yeah, David using all kind of weird words.
Yeah, jive, turkey.
Words he never used.
That's not true, because I say groovy all the time.
You never use that word. Really? Flintstones.
Oh, the 95 Flintstones, the live action one.
Savannah Smiles. I'm going to see if I can find that on Amazon.
McDonald's, was it McDonald's or Burger King had glasses for that movie?
I don't know.
With John Goodman as
yeah, I do remember the glasses, but I don't remember who
and
had
we won't talk about who played Betty because it was very inappropriate.
O'Donnell? What her name is? O'Donnell?
Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah, Rosie O'Donnell.
And it's like Betty was always the pretty one, and you made Rosie. What the hell? R. Joseph says Saturday Night Fever, and your mom and aunts insisted. Sat through it 3 times.
I didn't like Staying Alive.
Great music.
Good music, but I didn't like the movie.
The movie's all right.
The movie, wasn't all that good. My brother had chicken pox. My aunt bought just me to a Charlie Brown movie in probably 78.
Okay. And Johnny says, "Who is your master?" So you must have seen
Show Enough.
That's Show Enough from Last Dragon.
Last Dragon.
Who's the master?
That was a good movie.
Get down and kiss my Converse.
It was silly, but it was actually a fun movie to watch.
I could watch that again. That is a fun movie.
It's funny.
It's one of those lost 80s. We should do a top 10 lost 80s comedies.
I'm not talking to you.
Why not?
Because we've been trying to do that one that you won't film with me.
That's not true.
Winnie the Pooh is the first movie I saw without an adult being with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Big A's said The Exorcist. Ooh.
I thought monkeypox. That wasn't a movie.
12 Monkeys.
The 12 monkeys.
I went to the movies all the time with my family as a kid, and so I am not remember the first one I seen with them, but my first movie I seen as a kid on my own was Masters of the Universe in junior high. Okay.
I saw that in the theaters. I saw that. It wasn't the first movie I saw, but I saw it in the theaters.
Yeah.
I might have to watch that myself, Last Dragon. It's on HBO Max. I think it's on like Tubi or something. Yeah. Let's do the top 10. Pandemic Part 2, Monkeypox, Donovan Scott, and In Savannah, Smiles. I wrote it down. I'm going to look it up, see if I can find it on one of the streaming apps we got. We got like a million.
Pandemic Part 2.
Pandemic is a movie. I saw it. You know, I like to watch cheesy disaster films.
And they can have the one scientist that no one will listen to in the monkey. We just need 2 more weeks to flatten the curve. And then the general was like, I'm not going to have a scare put into the American people. Or no, that would be the mayor, right? We're not going to panic the people. Get him out of my office.
What's the one we just saw with Sean Connery? When the asteroid was going to hit the Earth.
Oh God!
Or the meteor.
Yeah. Did you guys know he did a post-apocalyptic asteroid film?
I think it was called Meteor.
It might have been. Yeah.
From the 70s.
There was a lot of star power in that too.
Yeah, and it was starring Sean Connery. He was a NASA somebody, another.
And he had that line about the broom. That was.
Not the broom.
The broom. The guy was giving him a hard time, and he says, "Why don't you just put a broom up my ass? As I walk out the door, I can sweep the floor."
But you know, those 70 disaster films is pretty good, like Earthquake and
Earthquake is incredible.
And Towering Inferno.
Because they built
and the fire.
In Earthquake, they built an entire town so they could destroy it, and damn if they didn't, because the earthquake scene itself is longer than any earthquake in recorded history. Because the earthquake only take like a minute, honestly, and then a couple of aftershocks. This earthquake lasted like 15, 20 solid minutes.
It did.
And they destroyed the entire set, like an entire town they built. And it's like, oh my God, they got every penny out of that.
Yeah, the one with LeVar Burton wasn't bad when they had the forest fires. But I like the cheesy ones from the 90s where it's a global warming you know, they put in it and they always fit it in it. Well, you know, humans are destroying the earth, global warming. It's always in there. And they always need a nuclear bomb to set whatever right.
Yeah.
They need a nuclear bomb.
That's all they had.
Yeah.
Now they got like they're creating dimensional portals and crap.
Yeah.
But they always wanted to detonate a bomb.
It's always
War
a
of
bomb.
Gargantuous. I'm not sure if we saw that.
Roller
Robert
coaster.
says
I didn't see Roller Coaster.
Robert says I remember seeing Poltergeist and then sneaking in to watch a Gene Wilder Richard Pryor movie. See No Evil, I think. Yeah, I remember See No Evil.
See No Evil was funny. Stir Crazy, I think, was funnier.
Stir Crazy was good.
Yeah, but I saw See No Evil, Hear No Evil. That one was funny. The Poseidon Adventure was good.
Johnny says The Towering Inferno and The Day After.
The Day After.
Day After is a tough one to watch. Yeah.
The Towering Inferno was good. Yeah.
Yeah. Robert says Meteor. That was the correct title.
Dama. Good evening, everyone.
Porky's. Well, you saw Porky's as a kid in the theater? Who brought you to see that?
What is that? Is it a disaster film?
No, Porky's is not a disaster film. Porky's is one of those like comedy coming of age films, but it's a little raunchy.
Oh. Tweeterhead has a He-Man and Battle Cat statue coming to the pre-order. Yeah, I saw that. They're bringing that back. Well, they didn't do the last one. I think Pop Culture Shop did the one that I have. But yeah, I saw that. Tweeterhead does some good ones. I got a few of their figures from Masters of the Universe. I didn't get the Tila. I didn't get that, and I think they did Shira also. I didn't get that one.
Raw Talk saw. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Then I'm done.
Raw Talk says they saw Conan the Destroyer with his uncle. Okay. He smoked weed in the balcony. That's terrible. Screw Your Feelings says they could never redo Brewster Millions. No, you want to see a Richard Pryor film?
Though.
A Richard Pryor film that they could never redo? The Toy.
The Toy was good. I saw it. It was sad.
Mm-hmm.
But
they could never redo The Toy because of the premise of the fact that the guy basically bought him for his son to play with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But didn't they redo Brewster's Million though?
I thought they did.
I think they did.
Only it was billions instead of millions this time.
Yeah, because they had to up the ante with the money. George, let's see. Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Okay.
John McJunkin is back again. My internet got knocked offline.
I see.
Have you seen Red Sonja?
I did see that. And it's almost like a continuation of the second Conan film.
It was like the 70s version of American Pie.
They had a toy remake?
Really?
With LL Cool J?
Are you serious?
Ugh.
Oh.
Oh, man.
Robert said Porky was like the 70s version of American Pie.
Yeah, I never saw American Pie.
I never saw American Pie, but I know what it is, and I know it was raunchy and that type of humor I didn't like.
Yeah, Razoner says Toys with Robin Williams. That was not a good film, I don't think. And it was also very, there was a lot of political undertones from Robin Williams in that film as well.
The Toy, when someone said Richard Pryor earlier. Yeah. Yeah. Richard Pryor he was in some good movies. He was in a few
good movies, actually, Richard Pryor. He did some films.
Yeah.
But I think I like him better as an actor than I did as a comedian.
Yeah.
Because he could be really nasty with some of the comedy that he did, but he didn't have to. Because I've seen him do the stand-up routine where he wasn't, and it was good, and I've seen him do the stand-up routines where he was just cussing up a storm, and it's just like, oh, dude, really?
John said he just caught Car Wash last night. He was in Car Wash? I don't think I ever saw Car Wash.
Yeah,
I know they remade that though.
Yeah, you know what's funny about Car Wash? It's a musical where nobody is singing because it's all background music, and then they always showcase George Carlin and Richard Pryor, and they're barely in it. Their scenes are very small.
What happened to soundtracks? You remember when a movie had a soundtrack and they would present it, they would play the music on the radio, and you went out and you bought it, and you had well-named groups, and they had a brand new song that came out for that movie. They don't make soundtracks anymore. Soundtracks was a big thing, especially in the 90s.
You know, Master Krull, I think, was Liam Neeson's first film.
Who?
Krull. We saw Krull. But
we saw Weekend at Bernie's. Oh, Weekend at Biden.
Oh,
currently living, yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the last two times I remember there being a really good soundtrack for a film was
Don't say The Crow.
The Crow. You never heard it.
I didn't.
But you never saw The Crow either.
I like the Boys in the Hood one and Set It Off.
And Last Action Hero, believe it or not, with Arnold Schwarzenegger had a pretty decent soundtrack.
Shannon loved Beastmaster.
Beastmaster. Yeah, that was a funny movie or a cool movie.
Have you seen the It's Alive movie series? No.
I think I saw the first one, but that was a long time ago. But I believe I know what you're talking about. Good Lord, look at us at 3.5 hours. I think this is the longest one we've done yet.
I don't know.
But I think we're probably going to go ahead and wrap it up because we need to. You hungry?
I haven't eaten yet, and I got my food out waiting to be
Really?
Whipped up.
I'm hungry. And she has
and
like
I'm
this.
not cooking you any food.
She already made my food.
No,
that's why. Because she makes my meals. She's good to me.
I cook his meals. I wash his clothes.
Stone Sour says time goes by when you're having fun. What's for dinner? Burritos. But she made this bean mixture for me, and I put it into a burrito, soft shell.
He act like he can't just eat it as is. He got to do other things with it.
I want to put it in a burrito. I like that. But anyways, thanks for joining us, everybody. We appreciate it. And we'll Biden making it hard for you to collect. I bet he did that.
He did that gas price.
I did that.
But we're not talking about that.
We're not talking about that, but we appreciate you all for joining us. And Johnny wants to know if we can come over for dinner. That's a long drive for you, Johnny.
Yeah, it's a long flight.
Yeah, he's in Washington State.
Washington State?
Yeah.
I used to want to go to Washington State. When I was in the military, I wanted to be stationed there because I thought it was pretty, but now...
Yeah. But again, thank you all for joining us. We'll do this again sometime soon. We have a convention coming up. That's the Joe.
Oh, the Joe Fest.
Joe Fest is coming up, and we will be at Joe Fest. But we're probably only going to come for the last day on Sunday, which is going to be what, the 26th?
Yeah. So if you see us, make sure you wave.
Yeah, please do. And thanks for the support. Thanks for watching the videos. We're glad you enjoy it. It means a lot. We like sharing it with you guys. So I guess we will see you again.
The guy. Yeah.
Yeah. John, well, yes, we will film at Joe Fest. Every time we go to any of the shows, we do film and put it up for people who can't go to a show.
Yeah.
At least they can see it. But we'll go ahead and sign off. And thanks for joining us tonight.